Angeles Kings and the Philadelphia Flyers. Hi again, everybody. I'm Jim Kelly, and welcome to the NHL on ESPN. The Flyers with 8 victories and just 2 losses, coming off an impressive 5-3 victory yesterday against Quebec. Meanwhile, the Los Angeles Kings won just their 3rd game of what's looking to be a rather long season, their 3rd victory against 9 setbacks. And for Kings coach Pat Quinn, well, he has some problems, particularly in goal. Let's take a closer look now at the records of the two teams. For Philadelphia, 46 goals for, just 28 against. But look for the Kings. They've scored 43 goals, but hey, they've given up 61. So as far as tonight's netminders are concerned, let's find out now who'll be between the pipes. Let's swing upstairs to Sam Rosen and Brad Park.
Thanks, Jim. And the coaches will go with the men who won for them last night. The L.A. Kings will start Bob Janecyk. The Philadelphia Flyers will start Pelle Lindbergh. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be back with you once again. And, Brad, the Flyers worked their way to the best record in regular season play in the NHL last season. They're doing it again this year.
They're off to a great start. They lost their first 2 home games this year, and then they only lost all 4 of last year. So they're proving that it was not a fluke, them getting to the Stanley Cup Finals last year. They're doing the little things right, and they're getting, and with that, they get good goaltending, good defense, and they're getting a lot of production up front.
And one of the guys really producing up front is Brian Propp.
Definitely. Brian Propp is off to a great start with 10 goals, 10 assists, 20 points. He's doing a lot of things, putting the puck in the net. He's also being a playmaker out there. And as things get tight tonight, we're going to see him in a lot of key situations.
For the L.A. Kings, a very important game, the end of a long road trip.
Definitely. They've been on this is the 6th game of a 6-game road trip. Yeah, a win tonight will give them a .500 record. And what better way to go back to Los Angeles than getting a win in Philadelphia, the contenders last year for the Cup.
The Flyers have won 6 in a row. The Kings are trying to make it 2 in a row. Let's go back to Jim Kelly.
The Kings, of course, coming off that 8-1 hammering of Hartford last night, and emotion running very high, especially for Kings coach Pat Quinn. He used to be the coach here in Philadelphia. The NHL, it's live, it's next on ESPN, and it's brought to you by Volvo, a car you can believe in. By Owens Corning, our building products put your house in the pink. By King Edward Cigars, the great taste and the great place make a man want to smoke them. We'll be back with Tom Mees after these messages.
Here, the L.A. Kings winding up the long road trip. They have won 2 against the Islanders and the Hartford Whalers and lost 3. And the Flyers riding a 6-game winning streak. They're on their feet here at the Spectrum, set for the singing of our national anthem. Let's go to the ice and Joyce Simpson. Philadelphia Flyers are on top of the Patrick Division, a record of 8-2 with 16 points. Tonight's officials. The referee is Kerry Fraser in his 6th year in the National Hockey League. Dan McCourt, his 5th season in the NHL, is one of the linesmen, and Mark Vines is the other. This is his 2nd season in the National Hockey League. For the L.A. Kings, Bob Janecyk, the 2nd-year man out of Chicago. Started with the Chicago Blackhawks, was traded to Los Angeles. Had a good year last year, a winning record. And Pelle Lindbergh, everything for the Flyers last year. He was their team MVP, led the NHL with 40 wins, and was the winner of the Vezina Trophy as the top goalie in the National Hockey League. Poulin, Prop, and Kerr open up the front line for the Philadelphia Flyers. This is Brad McCrimmon with the puck, number 10. Sends out to Dave Poulin. The third-year center lifts it in. And Jay Wells, number 24, back for Los Angeles, tied up by Kerr. This is Tiger Williams, and Williams has been playing very well, Brad.
He's been a big acquisition for the LA Kings coming over from Detroit. He's probably been their best forward right from the start of the season through training camp, and he likes the way this LA Kings team has run. They're old-time hockey, he says.
Poulin shooting wide. Janecyk looks for the rebound. Kerr hit the post with a backhander. Shot by Poulin is a save by Janecyk. So some good pressure by the Philadelphia Flyers and a giveaway by Paul Gay to Poulin led to the good pressure and a couple of shots by the Flyers.
Interesting thing here right off the bat, Sam, is there's a look at Pat Quinn, the coach of the LA Kings, his second season with the LA Kings. He had coached here in Philadelphia prior to that, and he had a real good, successful year last year. He'd like to be in a bit better position this year, but it's a long season, and he's only got 10 to 11 games under his belt, 12 games, and you know, he's still working with his hockey club, and one of the problems that he's found he's having is they've been on a 2-week road trip, and they've only been able to practice 3 times, and when you're losing, you need that practice time.
Flyers control the face-off and send it around. Brian Engblom, number 5, plays the puck for Los Angeles. Carries it out, then gives it away. Left wing, Murray Craven, number 32, after it. Gets the pass from Zezel and shoots, saved by Janecyk. Rebound played up the boards. A penalty is upcoming. And a fight going on in the net. Janecyk and Zezel, now everybody gets involved.
A lot of the LA Kings running back in to help their goaltender, Bob Janecyk. And if we kind of a misunderstanding there, Peter Zezel was trying to get in real quick, and as he rushed around the right defenseman, he lost his balance and ran straight into Bob Janecyk. And Janecyk, I thought he'd take a run at him right there. Here's the shoot, and here's Zezel going. He loses balance, kind of bumps into Janecyk, cuffs him. Now watch Janecyk chop him with a stick. Zezel says, wait a minute, we're going to have a little discussion about this. And then it starts, and they're going to see everybody, Zezel taking Janecyk into the net, and all of a sudden, everybody gets into it.
Tell you what happened. Last night, Torrey Robertson in Hartford took a run at Janecyk and roughed him up a little bit. He had to leave the game with back spasms late in the game, got the win. But I think as soon as he was bumped by Zezel, he went right at him. But the use of that stick, he just used it like a sledgehammer, like an axe at Zezel.
Most goaltenders, they know they've got a big goal stick like that. Has got a lot more weight and force behind it. He chopped him on the arm, on the elbow pad, trying to maybe get him between the elbow pad and the shoulder pad to let him know he didn't want any more. Then when Zezel came back at him, he says, I'm not taking any chances, and we're going with it again.
Pat Quinn checking things out, waiting for the announcement from referee Kerry Fraser, who's over at the official scorers table. Peter Zezel is already in the penalty box. Someone will have to serve for LA for the penalty being assessed to the goaltender Bob Janecyk.
One of the things, Sam, we're going to have to be concerned about is there going to be a third man in? Is this going to be considered an altercation between Janecyk and Zezel? And if there's a third man in, and from which team? Who's somebody from Philadelphia jump in to help Zezel, or did somebody from Los Angeles jump in to help Janecyk?
A look at number 16, Kennedy. Dave Taylor, the captain, and Dave Poulin, respective captains, standing by to hear the word from referee Kerry Fraser. 19:07 to go in the first period. There is no score. The Philadelphia Flyers and the Los Angeles Kings, no score.
I swear we've been through everything there is. Can't imagine anything the two of us can't do. Through the years, you've never let me down.
Volvo, the car built to get you through the years.
And I'm so glad I stayed right here with you through the years.
Due to time constraints, we'll move ahead to later action in the first period. When we left, penalties were given out to Bob Janecyk, 5 minutes for slashing. Dean Kennedy getting a game misconduct for being the third man into a fight. Peter Zezel receiving penalties, 2 minutes each for high sticking and roughing. And while we were away, Rich Sutter received a 10-minute penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct, and 5-minute fighting penalties were handed out to Jay Wells for L.A. and Dave Brown for Philadelphia. So you've missed a little bit of the fighting, but we get back to the hockey action now in the first period with the score 0-0 between the L.A. Kings and the Philadelphia Flyers.
14:04 to go in the first period. Kings and Flyers no score. Brown and Wells get 5 minutes each for fighting at 5:56. And the referee Kerry Fraser with a tough job trying to keep this game under control.
Calling a few penalties here early in the game in the first 6 minutes. You know, we've had a bunch of penalties. Throws off the flow of the game. It throws that neither team has really been able to get their top lines out there and change on the fly and get a good pickup end-to-end game. We haven't seen a lot of Marcel Dion and Bernie Nichols, who are the key offensive guys. We should see them now.
He is on now. This is Wilkes feeding Dion. Dion across the line against Brad Marsh with a shot. Knocked down with a glove by Lindbergh. Ron Sutter has the rebound, but the net was knocked off the hinges, and another stop in play. Interesting change by Coach Pat Quinn. He's got the rookie Brian Wilkes centering for Marcel Dion, who's been moved to the right wing. He played right wing last night and picked up 2 assists. There you see Rich Sutter and Dave Brown in the penalty box. Rich Sutter for a 10-minute misconduct. Dave Brown 5 minutes for fighting. 13:51 to go in this first period. No score in the game. Wilkes is centering for Dion on the right and McClellan on the left. There's the L.A. penalty box. Dave Taylor sitting out the penalty. That was assessed to Bob Janecyk, who's got another 2-minute minor to finish off. Janecyk getting the 5-minute major for slashing and got another 2 for high sticking.
Most coaches are like, there's a look at Mike Keenan, his second year. He's had, of all the coaches, probably the epitome of a first-year rookie coach to come in and go to the Stanley Cup Finals, and he would like to repeat that this year. Kind of a laid-back guy. Talking to him, he asked him how he works with his hockey club. He says most of his players, I don't have to do as much teaching now because we've got a lot of the same players back. They know the job that they have to do. They know how to line up for a lot of the situations. It's just a matter of having them work on their execution. Here's the draw. Marcel Dion getting it back to Brian Englund. He tees it up. He looks, and you're going to see Lindbergh get a good look at it all the way. Kicks out the right leg, deflects it off his stick into the crowd.
Play by Lindbergh. 13:46 to go in this first period. Wilkes and Ron Sutter on the draw. Barkow tripped up, lost the puck at the side of the net, and Lindbergh smothers it. We'll get another face-off. Next Sunday night, we'll bring you hockey from the Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. The Boston Garden with the Minnesota North Stars taking on the Boston Bruins. Bruins playing outstanding hockey under first-year coach Butch Goring. Charlie Simmer with 13 goals. Pete Peters and Doug Keens in goal are playing outstanding. And the Bruins just right on top of the Adams division.
Well, they've made a change in the coaching staff, and the team has really responded for them this year. They're playing good hockey. They had a good game against L.A. last Thursday. They beat Chicago last night. A little interesting situation in the face-off. An interesting thing here with Wilkes playing center and Dion there. Wilkes just, in the league, he can cheat as much as he wants because if he gets thrown out, they get Dion coming back for the face-offs.
McCrimmon sending it across to Ron Sutter. Sutter hit hard by Al Tour, and Tour is going to go. Delayed penalty. No, it's Ron Sutter's going to go. It's the delayed penalty upcoming on the Flyers. I thought it was Tour who took the run at Ron Sutter, but the penalty is coming on the Flyers. We're at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. There is no score. Sutter for slashing.
Ron Sutter gets him up with a stick and knocks him down. I don't think that was a penalty unless he does something now, and he didn't. What he was doing was chipping the puck out and protecting himself with Tour coming in, pinching and playing the body. I did not see a slash there, and I'm sure the Philadelphia Flyers are going to be talking to Kerry Fraser every time he goes up and down in front of that bench.
Power play opportunity for the L.A. Kings. And we've got a fight going on. Poulin is involved for the Philadelphia Flyers. So it's fight night here at the Spectrum. We've played very little hockey, only 6 minutes and 37 seconds. Wilkes and Poulin.
I think this all started in face-off before on the other side. they've got mixed up. Wilkes chopping at Poulin taking exception and has progressed. Two guys, Dave Poulin is not the type of guy that gets in a lot of fights, and I'm sure that Brian Wilkes is not either. But it's one of the things, Wilkes, the young guy, wants to establish himself in the league, wants to Poulin to be thinking about him every time they go into a face-off. And you know they're going to be thinking about each other every time they line up all night long. And if somebody run outside, let me know if we have a full moon.
They're running out of room in the penalty box. Mike Keenan is running out of players. There are 4 Flyers sitting in the penalty box, 3 LA Kings. Pat Quinn checks things out. Pat Quinn coached in Philadelphia for 4 years. Dave Poulin gets 5 minutes for fighting, as does Brian Wilkes. Time of the penalties, 6:37. The Kings are still on a power play with Ron Sutter off for another minute 54 seconds.
If I was a coach like Pat Quinn, this is the type of game that I would like my club to be playing in Philadelphia. Philadelphia is a freewheeling club. They scored, you know, they're capable of bursting a game open, playing steady all the time. The first period is taking a long time to play. All his players are in the game. They know that they're going to be here. They don't have to be home till tomorrow sometime, and it can take 4 hours. But a big win because they're going to grind out every situation.
Greg Redmond, the second-year defenseman, lost the puck to Zezel, who clears it down. A minute 45 to go on the LA Kings power play. Their first of the game. Good hit by prop on Sykes. Draws a roar from the crowd. Howe is able to clear the puck all the way down. Janecyk stops it for Bernie Nichols. Nichols up the boards to Doug Smith. Back for Nichols, comes in front of the net, and Phil Sykes plays it. Checked by Prop. Prop had 7 shorthanded goals last season. This is Sykes coming in against McCrimmon. Sykes gets past him. McCrimmon slows him up, takes him into the boards. Prop will get to the puck. His clearing pass blocked by Redmond. Pushed ahead by McCrimmon, and a hand pass whistle.
The LA Kings being on the power play here. And right away the Philadelphia Flyers are disagreeing with Kerry Fraser.
Well, Prop saying that one of the Kings touched it with a stick. Referee Kerry Fraser whistling the hand pass brings up the face-off in the Flyers zone. A minute 9 to go in the Kings power play. 12:38 to go in the first period and no score.
Okay, here's the puck in the air. Gets knocked ahead, and then it's hit by Propstick. He says that Tiger Williams hit his leg, so that the puck did touch a King. Therefore, it was not a direct pass.
I thought Tiger did a nice dance. Total penalty minutes already. 28-26. They are mounting. Dean Kennedy had a game misconduct earlier as the 3rd man in one of the fights. Dion on the face-off against Craven. McClellan drops it off for Nichols. Now McClellan, who has 4 goals this season, all on the power play. McClellan looking around as the Flyers play the box defense. Galley with a wrist shot, knocked away with a blocker by Lindbergh, and cleared. Out of the zone, taken back in by Galley, offside. LA with 52 seconds to go on the penalty to Ron Sutter.
Interesting thing, Sam, the LA Kings are using Jerry Galley on the point along with Bernie Nichols. Now, Bernie Nichols is doesn't have the overpowering slap shot from the point, so he's going to be a playmaker out there. He will try to sneak into the top of the circle, and he's much more effective shooting the puck from there. But he's going to be a playmaker out there. You don't look for him for pulling the trigger out there. They're going to use him to handle the puck and move it around and set up the people a little bit deeper towards the center of the net.
Puck sent all the way down. Howe picks up the puck, drives it around the boards. Sinisalo is there, but lost it. Put in front for Hawkinson. He turned and didn't shoot. He passed way wide of the net. And McCrimmon able to smother the puck. Can't understand the play by Hawkinson unless he didn't know where he was and tried to shoot and was way wide.
Definitely lost his balance. He didn't realize that both Flyer defensemen had moved up past him. And what he thought he was, that he figured that here's the pass from Bernie Nichols. Nice play. Hawkinson thought he had somebody coming from the side to catch Lindbergh. He wasn't aware that he had more time to turn, take a look, and let go with a wrist shot.
Veteran defenseman Brad McCrimmon.
Nicknamed the Beast. Yeah, Beast. I played with Brad McCrimmon in Boston. He really matured since he's come to the Philadelphia Flyers, playing great hockey for him, steady. He's one of the guys in the dressing room that really makes an impression with all the people. You know, he comes to play every night. He's really developed into a fine hockey player.
Nichols centering it across, but no Kings there. Craven able to clear the puck. 18 seconds to go in the Kings power play. 11:45 to go first period, no score. Janecyk had trouble with the puck. Galley is having trouble with Zezel. Sends it around to Nichols. 5 seconds to go in the Kings power play. Up the boards, McCrimmon takes it back, lifts it ahead. Nichols sends it up into the crowd. As the penalty to Ron Sutter is over, teams are back at full strength with 11:29 to go in the first period. There is no score. So each team has had a power play advantage. The Flyers had a 5-minute major power play advantage and did not capitalize. Shots on goal, LA 7 and the Flyers 5.
We got a little rallies from the crowd there when Janecyk moved to the corner to handle the puck, because who was bearing down on him but Peter Zezel, and the crowd was saying, okay,
it's a rematch.
It's time to get even. But Peter Zezel, like I said, he's not that type of player that's going to go out and run over a goaltender. And that was just a misunderstanding. It could have been a dangerous misunderstanding earlier in the period, but you know, Peter's going to go out, he's going to play hard. Goaltenders are not his style. You don't go out and run over goaltenders. There are players in the league that will do it, and because they want to make an impression.
Tim Kerr on the face-off with Doug Smith. Kerr wins it. Quick shot. Trickles through and wide of the net. Kerr with Smith on him in the corner. In comes Zezel to help out. Checked by Tour and Tiger Williams. Now Kerr lost it. Englund sends to Paul Guay. The one-time Philadelphia Flyer has it knocked away by Prop. Englund finds Tiger Williams at the blue line. And Marsh takes the puck back. Ryan Prop checked by Englund along the boards. It squirts free. This is Doug Smith centering. Knocked away nicely by Zezel. Puck was free in the corner. That Crossman sending it out of the zone where Englund plays it with Prop on him. Taken away by Kerr. Kerr comes in, leaves it for Zezel. He overskated. Paul Guay picks it up. Guay, who played on the 1984 U.S. Olympic team, backhands it in. Stopped by Pelle Lindbergh. 10:40 to go first period. There is no score. Flyers and LA Kings at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Eklund comes in. Eklund tries to beat Galley. Eklund centers in front. Here comes Marsh for the shot. It's blocked in front. Loose puck shot by Eklund. Saves Janecyk. And he covers up. 10:22 to go first period. Flyers and LA Kings, no score.
Bob Janecyk, a lot of traffic in front. It was he could not get a good look at the puck. Marsh had to hurry the shot, and it hit somebody in front. But he did a good job of covering up, because one of the Flyers spun shot along the ice, and he had everything covered down there.
Sinisalo pins Gary Galley to the boards along with the puck, and we'll get another face-off in the LA Kings zone. Gary Galley out of Bowling Green University. Got 6 goals already this season. Leads all NHL defensemen in goals scored with the 6. Galley in his second year. He played on the NCAA championship team at Bowling Green in 1984. Ron Sutter, first-round pick 1982, the 4th player drafted overall in the 82 draft. Rich Sutter was drafted by Pittsburgh, the 10th player drafted overall that year. Rich Sutter and traded to the Philadelphia Flyers. Ron Sutter and Bernie Nichols on the draw. 10:15 to go in the first period. No score, Flyers and Kings. Played by Murray Craven. Craven backhands it in front. It just went past Lindsey Carson, and out come the Kings. Phil Sykes out of the University of North Dakota sending it around for Dave Taylor, who's finally back on the ice. Craven plays the puck. One-time Detroit Red Wing Murray Craven sending it around to Ron Sutter. Sutter bumped by Taylor, and the puck picked up by Doug Crossman, but gave it away to Craig Redmond. Galley finds Phil Sykes, and Sykes to Dave Taylor. Taylor with a shot that's blocked by Brad Marsh. Lindbergh sends it around, and Marsh picks it up. Marsh tied up by Taylor. In comes Craven. Sykes is over there. Lindsey Carson, Bernie Nichols. Little convention over there. Puck knocked free. Gary Galley and Craig Redmond on defense for the LA Kings. Now it's Bernie Nichols, who scored 46 goals last season. Eklund comes back, plays it up the boards, but gave it away for Lyle Fair. Now it's Crossman sending it back to Eklund. Fair on him. Eklund gets rid of the puck to Lindsey Carson. This is Ron Sutter, 1-on-3. He's sandwiched and pulled down. Eklund hit by Fair. Eklund gets the puck back. Feeds Sinisalo. Sinisalo comes in. He shoots. He scores!
Sinisalo getting a good break at the blue line with a puck jumping by. Here's the pass. He picks it up. He moves on Engblom. It trickles by, shoots it along the ice through Janecyk's legs. And Janecyk was starting on his way down instead of holding position. Watch it go as he starts to go down, moves the stick over the stick through the legs. One of those things, goals that you don't pick the spot, you just shoot it and get it on net because you don't have much time to do much with it.
Ilkka Sinisalo in his 5th year in the National Hockey League. Each year, he's gotten progressively better and scored more goals each year. Last year, he scored 36 and off to a fine start this year with his 7th goal of the season in the 11th game for the Flyers. 1-0 Philadelphia. Flyers have outscored their opponents coming into tonight's game in the first period 18-4. And lead 1-0 here against the LA Kings with 8:35 to go in the first period. Ron Sutter is tied up along the boards. Dave Brown comes in, works it free. Brown and Sutter. Brown with a shot that's sticked aside by Janecyk. Mark Howe wrists it in front, deflects aside, and here come the Flyers out. Marcel Dion. Dion against McCrimmon. Offside is called. Jim Kelly, what's going on?
Well, Sam, after the hockey game, we'll head west as ESPN's Thursday night college football series continues with a live showdown featuring 2 top California State University teams. Long Beach State riding high on the arm of quarterback Doug Gaynor. Last year, he finished 3rd in the nation in total yards, behind only BYU's Robbie Bosco and Heisman Trophy winner Doug Flutie. And San Jose also has a powerful offense and a quarterback named Doug also. Doug Allen, he's among the nation's tops in total offense. It's sure to be a high-scoring, wide-open game when San Jose State takes on Long Beach State live Thursday, November the 7th, right here on ESPN.
And Jim Kelly will be there. Brad McCrimmon across the line, throws it in front. Galley grabs it, throws it aside. And a hand pass is whistled against the LA Kings with 8:08 to go in this first period. Ilkka Sinisalo getting the goal. Galley shaking his hand as he grabbed that puck. Hot puck, he threw it away.
Oh, definitely.
It burned his hand.
It could have been. In some games, you're going to get a referee that's going to call that closing the hand on the puck. But it was a smart play because he knew he had the left winger bearing down on him, Derrick Smith. And what he did, he just grabbed it and fired it up the board to get it out of danger, because sometimes it's a good play. Get the puck over the boards when you're unsure of what you're going to do. You know, get it away from the net, let you give your team some time to regroup, you know, just to slow the play down and keep it out of danger.
8:08 to go in the first period. Ron Sutter and Brian Wilkes on the draw. 19-year-old Brian Wilkes, 2nd-round draft pick for the LA Kings last year. Marcel Dion getting back to set up. Dion playing the right wing with Wilkes centering. Kept in by Mark Howe. On the far side, that's Lindsey Carson, taken away by Wilkes. Now it's Brian McClellan, another man out of Bowling Green. Chases into the corner with Brad McCrimmon. McCrimmon wraps him up. Carson helps out. Ron Sutter tries to clear the puck. Carson picks it up. He's got Dave Brown with him on the right side. Jay Wells after the puck, but Janecyk steers it off the boards. Now Brown and Jay Wells going at it again. 2nd time tonight. The rematch. This one is won by Jay Wells, and here's the pileup. And we'll get some more penalties.
This is old-time hockey. This is when I broke in. There was no 3rd-man in roll. We got 4, 5, 6, and 8 people, 10 people in there right now. Jay Wells taking a great big deal of exception to Brown. Brown went in, burst in, ran into Janecyk, and Jay Wells said, that's enough of this. We're going to have a look at it right now. Here's Janecyk handling. Here goes Brown. He goes by, but his leg catch Janecyk. Now watch. Jay Wells takes it, puts him up against the net. Brown never does get turned around to handle this situation. Wells fires him down and then starts punching at him.
And you know Wells is strong because Brown is 6'5".
Brown's a big fella. And I'll tell you, the Philadelphia Flyers are sticking together because what they did, Brown was not in a situation to stand there and go toe-to-toe. Over in the corner, we got Ed Hospodar dancing with Brian McClellan.
Hospodar's first appearance on the ice, you know why he's out there. Brown wants Wells again. And now Hospodar is going at it with McClellan.
Those two big boys right there. Hospodar losing his balance and McClellan ending up on top of him. Now the officials, the 2 linesmen, will not go and help out that situation until they get Brown and Wells in the penalty box. Now they put them in the box, and if they come out, they're out of the game. Now they're going to go back down. And they'll wait. There's the one linesman, McCourt, coming down. And when they both get in there, now they're going to separate this altercation.
Brown says to Wells, I'll see you next time. And Wells says, I'm ready. Anytime. 7:40 to go, first period. We're at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Flyers 1, Kings nothing.
You kidding? Hey, this is great. This, you know, you can say it's one of those things. It's great, yeah, maybe because I'm up here in the booth, but I think
it's safe here, huh?
It's a lot safer up here. Nobody can reach me. That was one of the things I always had problem with. 6'2" guys.
All right, when you're on the ice, you're one of the players. You're not one of the first guys involved, but yet you've got to go in there and stick up for your teammates, don't you?
Definitely. Brown was in a situation where his back was turned to Wells. He was not ready to stand off and go toe-to-toe because Brown can handle himself, and Wells had him at an advantage. Now, when you've got a teammate like that is such a disadvantage, you've got to jump in, you've got to help him out because you can't let your teammate take that kind of punishment. It's bad for team morale. You don't want to see it. The coaches say they never do it, but they condone it. It's part of having a team that's going to stick together and hang out together and stick up for one another and come to the aid. It just creates a good team atmosphere. You saw it when Janecyk was in the net. Dean Kennedy come in, third man in. I think we're going to have a third man in here. So one of the Flyers is going to be in the dressing room for the night.
If anyone has a computer, please send it to Kerry Fraser. He's trying to sort out all these penalties, and the penalty sheet, the official score sheet, is piling up. Ron Sutter, a man who is known to get involved in a few scraps himself, not involved this time. He's just talking with Brad Marsh as they wait for things to get settled on the far side. Kerry Fraser has run down the assortment of penalties. Well, I hope they serve coffee and donuts in the penalty box. The guys are spending a lot of time there.
Oh, I don't think they're too hungry. They'll be pumping those water bottles back and forth. There's a look at Brian McCone getting a little bit of moisture back into himself. One of the great things, a lot of people, I say it's great. You know, fights, I think it's great because guys are sticking up for one another. It creates a team atmosphere. The one thing that I don't like to see in the National Hockey League is premeditated fighting. I think, you know, guys that are going to go out and get 250, 300 minutes in penalties, they're playing a role. You don't need that in the National Hockey League. Fighting is something that settles a score without people using their sticks. It's a flare-up, and I think any situation we've had tonight have been flare-ups. It's something that these two teams do not have the rivalry, they do not have the hate to go out there and premeditate start a fight. It's just something that's happening, and it's been good for both teams because they're sticking up for one another.
Our statistician, Barry Watkins, is on his third pen tonight with all the penalties. As the list grows and grows, we're sorting it out for you, and we will run them down for you in just a moment as the discussions continue. We've had more talk than skating, I think, in this first period, more fighting than hockey action. It's still 1-0. The Flyers leading on the goal by Ilkka Sinisalo, assisted by Derrick Smith at 11-11. Dave Taylor and Kerry Fraser having the discussion. And again, the explanation going on. Wells got 2 minutes for roughing, 5 minutes for fighting. Brown got 5 minutes for fighting. McClellan, 5 minutes for fighting. Hospodar, 5 minutes for fighting, and a double game misconduct. Okay, so Hospodar had a very short night tonight. Got out on the ice for one turn, got involved in the fight, and he's gone.
Ed Hospodar was such an effect last year in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And right now we're going to go to Jim Kelly.
Well, you know, coming up after the hockey game, they might have already competed for the America's Cup by the time this one's over. Coming up after the game tonight right here on ESPN, Bring Back the Cup. Dennis Conner, who was the losing skipper last time out at Newport, has labeled the challenge to bring the cup back a war, similar to the one we've got going on here with the Flyers and the Kings. Well, we'll have a preview tonight. America's Cup 87, bring it back. It's after hockey. Sam, I hope your plane is ready to go.
Well, they're settling things out. How about a double game misconduct, Brad? Find that for us.
A double game misconduct is what they have a thing in the National Hockey League now, that when you get a game misconduct, you get thrown out of the game. When you get 3 game misconduct, you are suspended for a game. If you get a 4th game misconduct, you are suspended for 2 games. And it keeps going on like that. What this has established is a double game. All of a sudden, the next double game or game misconduct that they get, he's going to be suspended for a game. So you're allowed 3. When you get the 3rd one, you're in trouble. So he's already used 2.
And they score on the power play. It was a man advantage. again the victim of a weird bounce out in front, and the puck put in by Tim Kerr. That's his home in front of the net. He went for the puck and put it in. It was a man advantage situation as Wells was assessed a minor penalty. Watch this weird bounce.
That's the same board that Janecyk had problems with earlier in the period. And it's one of those things that when you've got a board like that, you've got to be aware of it. When you go back in, he's out there trying to get the puck for his defenseman, hits the board, he has no chance. Great hustle by Tim Kerr, taking advantage of a loose puck in front of the net.
Tim Kerr's 9th goal of the season. It's a power play goal, his 4th power play goal of the year. And the Flyers have a 2-0 lead. 7:33 to go in this first period. Time of the goal is 12:27. Teams are back at full strength on the ice, that is. And the Flyers have a 2-0 lead. Al Tour sends it in. Marsh chased by Dave Taylor. Now it's Doug Crossman playing it. Up the boards for Brian Proppin out of the zone. Englund back for it. Zezel after him. Englund sending it around to Phil Sykes. Now Bernie Nichols. In the corner, that's Dave Taylor. Marsh on him. Taylor gets loose. Centers. Backhander Sykes. And it went off the glove of Pelle Lindbergh. Taylor checked behind the net by Zezel. Sykes back pass stolen by Prop. Comes out with Kerr. Janecyk leaves it for Englund. Kerr chasing him. Sykes trying to find Taylor, but Crossman will play it. To Brad Marsh with 6:40 to go in the first period. Flyers a 2-0 lead. Al Tour in his second game since being called up from the New Haven Nighthawks in the American Hockey League, wearing number 26 for LA. Nice speed for Eklund. Eklund against Tour. It's blocked by Tour. And he clears the puck all the way down. McCrimmon back for the puck. Beyond forechecking. And now Sinisalo. Pass too far for Eklund, but it's on goal. The mock cheers are for Janecyk. Here's Brian Wilkes coming out. Wilkes to J.P. Kelly. Kelly, number 17, is tied up by McCrimmon. Looking for the puck is Pelle Eklund. It's free. It's loose. Howe's got it. Mark Howe throwing it out of the zone. Gary Galley off by Sinisalo. Sinisalo kicks it back to McCrimmon. Howe drops it in the zone. Janecyk makes the stop, covers up with Craven in front. 5:40 to go in the first period.
Sam, an interesting thing, there's 3 other games going on in the National Hockey League tonight, so there's 13 teams that are not playing. Or you have 2 other games going on. So you got 15 teams around the league that are not playing tonight. And all you players on those teams, if you're watching the telecast tonight, you better file it in your brain that they got a bad board just to the left of that Philadelphia of your net you're going to have for 2 periods when you come in here to play the Flyers.
And is there anything that can be done about that? You think they'll look at that between periods?
No, they won't be able to do anything about it. Lindbergh will be aware of it for the start of the second period. Janecyk's going to have to be aware. He's got another period to go with that problem. That is something that you know, they may bring up to the crews who repair the boards and this and that, but usually it's always a good idea to go around and check the boards in your end before the start of every period to find out if you've got a funny board.
Loose puck. Ron Sutter and Rich Sutter digging for it. Tiger Williams wraps up Rich Sutter. Englund has the puck. Lifted into the crowd. Stopping play and another face-off deep in the LA zone. 5:31 to go. The veteran Brian Englund, who played on 3 Stanley Cup champions for the Montreal Canadiens, traded to Washington and then on to Los Angeles.
A good hockey player. He's helped solidify the defense that Los Angeles had. I think that they played a lot better last year. You know, it was something they had to prove. They had 3 years before that they didn't really play well. They wanted to have this year another back-to-back good years. They're off to a bad start. It's a matter of having patience and bearing down and getting all 20 guys, because now 1 or 2 guys are going to do it during the course of a year.
Kerr after the puck. It comes out to Poulin. He's hit by Tiger Williams. In the corner. It's kicked free by... Kerr was digging for it. Here's Poulin with the puck. Poulin centers. Comes all the way across. And Paul Gay sends it out of the zone. Knocked down by Poulin. Derrick Smith To Tim Kerr. Kerr against Engblom. Kerr using his strength. A save made by Janecyk. You saw the strength of Tim Kerr as he moved his way in front. Flyers sending it up the boards. And this is Paul Guay coming across the line. Offside. LA on the play with 4:55 to go in this first period. Look at Paul Guay, originally a draft pick of the Minnesota North Stars. Played a little bit for the Philadelphia Flyers, only a few games, and then they traded him over here to LA at the start of the season for Steve Seguin. Again, remaining in the American Hockey League.
Kind of a good break for Paul Guay because Philadelphia had such a good year last year. It didn't look like he was going to be a major factor in their plans for this year. And going to a team like Los Angeles, it's a lot of guys would look at that as like a new life. Okay, here's someplace that I can play, I can earn a job, I'm going to get a good shot, I've got to prove myself and make them need me, and I'm going to be a good regular and have a good career in the National Hockey League.
Janecyk comes out to play the puck. Up off the glass. Redmond pump. Flyers keep it in the zone. Sinisalo fanned on it. Prop gets knocked down by Redmond. And Dave Taylor able to clear the puck out. Here's Bernie Nichols carrying. Phil Sykes on the left side. Taylor on the right. Taylor with a puck in the shot. Stick to side. Rebound score! Phil Sykes coming in from the left side on the three-man rush. Follows in the shot by Dave Taylor. And it's 2-1. Flyers lead it. But Phil Sykes comes up with a goal.
Phil Sykes being in the right place at the right time. Here's Taylor's shot. Hit Lindbergh, I think, comes out. And Phil Sykes is right there to put him in. The interesting thing was that the Flyer coming back with him kind of shook his head. He says, I had him, but I didn't have him. And it was one of those boom, boom plays where it's tough for the defenseman to react. A good shot by Taylor along the ice. Lindbergh had committed himself, made the save, and basically it was a boom, boom play. He could not recover to pick up the rebound.
Sykes, who scored 17 goals last season, scores his first of the year. 4:20 remaining in the first period. Flyers with a 2-1 lead. Doug Crossman with the puck. J.P. Kelly forechecking for L.A. Crossman. Ron Sutter has the puck and drives it in the Kings zone. Janecyk with Carson after him. Around for J.P. Kelly. Rich Sutter with a hip check. Puck knocked away by Ron Sutter. Tour sends it up the boards for J.P. Kelly. It's knocked away. Tour in the corner. It's worth free. Engblom clears it aside. Brian Wilkes carries out for L.A. The stick of Dion. And Engblom sends it in the Flyer zone. Crossman, who started with the Chicago Blackhawks, traded for Ben Wilson. Sends it out of the zone. All the way down. Engblom picks it up. 3:35 to go. First period. Ron Sutter chasing the puck. Tour gets rid of it. Flyers keep it in. Rich Sutter throwing it in front. Engblom blocked it. And out come the L.A. Kings. Nice pass to Tiger Williams. He's in. He shoots. He scores. Tiger Williams off the beautiful pass from Marcel Dion. And it's tied 2-2.
Great pass by Marcel Dion. Just lays it over to Tiger Williams. And showing a little bit of finesse by Tiger. Here's the pass. Tiger coming in from the blue line. He's looking at Lindbergh. He pulls it to his forehand and just flips it over Lindbergh's leg. Good experience by Tiger Williams, just chipping it up over his leg. He's got his head up. He looks close to his left. And just chips it over the leg. A pretty goal. Now watch Tiger give it the old pump.
Tiger, who is renowned for his rough stuff, scores his 5th goal of the year.
And there goes, oh, he put it in the holster, too. Look at that.
2-2 the score as the Kings come back with 3:10 to go in this first period.
The assist, Marcel Dion.
Paul Guay with a puck for L.A.
Your attention, Dr. Robert Gorin.
Doug Smith. Back to the near side. Greg Redmond comes in to play it. Now it's Tiger Williams. Back pass. Guay shoots. Saved by Lindbergh. And he holds on. 2:51 to go. First period. Flyers and L.A. Kings 2-2. Up the press box and said you're doing a great job.
Rich and Al. Yeah. I don't have any relatives in Broward County. I do have some relatives in Maine. I'd like to say hello to my kids, and it's time to go to bed.
Oh, no, they've got to stay up and watch Daddy.
School tomorrow.
Zezel bumped along the board. 2-2 the score with 2:40 to go in this first period. Flyers got the first two. Kings have answered back on goals by Sykes and Williams. Here's Sykes working his way in. Nice pass to Taylor. Taylor with a shot that's wide. Gary Galley keeps it in. The Kings have come on. Shots are even at 12 apiece. Sykes bumped by Crossman. Zezel looking for the puck. Digging for it. Dave Taylor trying to poke it free and does. Taylor for Nichols, who was blocked by Marsh. And the puck is out of the zone. Taylor goes back to Gary Galley. Second-year defenseman Galley goes to the other second-year man, Craig Redmond. Redmond, 20 years old, played for the Canadian Olympic team in 1984. J.P. Kelly now in the corner, bumped by Rich Sutter. Here comes Crossman, but Dion takes it away and lost control of the puck. Marsh gave it away. The backhander is blocked by Crossman. Dion lost his balance, then centers right through the crease. Good pressure by the L.A. Kings, and now the Flyers come out 3-on-2. Kelly gets back for L.A. Rich Sutter shot hit the outside of the net. Ron Sutter to Rich Sutter. Rich Sutter looking to center, knocked away by Craig Redmond. And at 25 to go in the first period, 2-2 the score. Puck loose as Howe is being held along the boards by Tour. Out in center, Bernie Nichols lost it. Ron Sutter picks it up. Bumped by J.P. Kelly. Now Al Tour plays it. Craig Redmond drives it out of the zone. Icing waved off as the kid, Derrick Smith, coming off the bench. No, icing was called. Jim Kelly, what's coming up between periods?
Well, Sam, coming up, we'll have the Flyers defenseman Mark Howe. He'll be our guest. Also between periods, we'll go back and check in with Tom Eaves and find out what else is going on around the National Hockey League tonight. And also ESPN Sports Center. We'll have all the National Football League scores. That's coming up and much more. How about Tiger Williams after the goal, the little victory dance, and then he took his stick and kind of put it into the sash like Chichi Rodriguez used to do after he sunk a birdie putt.
Oh, it makes you feel good. You get the birdie putt, score the goal, putting it where it belongs, right?
That's it, Tiger Williams. I mean, it was a big goal, but if it was a real big goal, it would have been a three-pumper.
The L.A. goal, Sykes, his first from Taylor and Nichols at 15:33. Williams, his fifth from Dion and Wilkes at 16:36. 2 goals in 1:03 for the Kings to tie the score. Howe keeps it in for Philadelphia. A minute to go in the first period. Derrick Smith sends it around to Dave Poulin. Kerr is in front. Janecyk blocks the pass. Now it comes over the top to Howe. Back for Poulin, but he's being held by Tiger Williams. And now Gay is able to send it to Brian Engblom with Tiger Williams in the middle. Engblom against Brad McCrimmon. Good job working it in by Brian Engblom. Around the boards, Derrick Smith is there for Philadelphia. Got it past Doug Smith. And Poulin sends it in the Kings zone with 25 seconds to go in the period. Jay Wells, who's back from a visit to the penalty box. He's been in 2 fights tonight with Dave Brown. 15 seconds to go, first period. In the corner, Rich Sutter takes a bump from Jay Wells. Janecyk deflects it, and that does it. First period, loaded with fights, loaded with penalties, and we got some decent action in there when the teams decided to play some hockey.
Oh, definitely. Mike Keenan not going to be very happy with the Flyers having a 2-goal lead and leaving the period with 2-2 score. On the other hand, you got to look at Patty Quinn. Patty Quinn saying, hey, I like this. This is great. We were down 2-0. We hung together. We stuck together. And what we have now is we're back in the hockey game because we stuck together.
Sinisalo and Kerr for Philadelphia, Sykes and Williams for L.A. 2-2 end of the first. We'll be right back with Jim Kelly and his guest Mark Howe of the Philadelphia Flyers.
The screen coming up right here. The Flyers are moving from right to left, the center of the screen, and there is Mark Howe in his 7th National Hockey League season, 4 of those with Philadelphia. And he is our guest between periods 1 and 2. Kind of a strange first period, huh?
Yeah, I think so. I think what LA was trying to do was like Hartford did in here about 10 days ago. Is, they're taking real long changes. They're slowing the pace of the game down, and you know, we have to regroup in between periods here, and we have to pick up the tempo because it's our rink, and we have to play a better tempo than what we did in the first period.
Mark, as a player, what does it do psychologically when there's so many fights?
Well, it's part of the game. There's some nights, you know, where those things just happen. I guess over the years between the Flyers and the Kings, there's been an awful lot of fights, and I think everybody's just keeping the tradition going.
I would say Wells and Brown are going to have a rematch.
Yeah, I think so, but I don't know. Dave Brown, he's a good hard worker, and I know he wants to score some goals too. So I think the coach might say something to him. And the important thing with our team is nobody's a selfish hockey player. We win by team, lose by team. Sometimes you have to take it on the chin for your teammates, and that's the kind of player Dave Brown is.
For Mark Howe, 18 goals, 39 assists last year for the third straight season. You led the Flyers in scoring, the defenseman anyhow. Are you an offensive defenseman or a defensive defenseman, or both?
I don't think I'm as good offensively as what I used to be, but I think I've played defense now. This is my 6th year of playing defense, and I'm learning more and more each year from watching a guy like Brad March, who's a very defensive hockey player. I can learn a lot from him just by his positioning on the ice. I can skate a little bit better than Brad, but his positioning is excellent. That's what gets Brad by, and I can learn an awful lot from him. And players from the past like Eddie Van Ep, he's taught me an awful lot. And Bobby Orr was here at training camp, and anything those two guys say, it never hurts. Of course, you carry the famous Howe moniker, and your dad, Gordy. I think everybody would like to know what advice Gordy's given you along the way, if any. What has your dad told you? I think the most important thing my dad told me, I think, it's just that you have to enjoy the game. If you don't like the game, you got to get out. And as a case with my brother Marty up in Hartford this year, he just got to the point where he just didn't enjoy the game anymore. And no matter what kind of money you're making or anything, it's just not worth it. And I know there's some people that say the athletes go out and they play for money. And in the game of hockey, I don't think so, because especially with the Flyers here, because we got some guy that can just grind you in the ice, and if you don't enjoy it, you just got to get out. And I think that's the most important thing that I've learned. Your dad and mom babysitting tonight. Yeah, well, I think my wife had to drive up and pick the kids up. They usually meet about halfway, but they enjoy being with my kids a lot. And, it's good for my wife, too. It gives her a chance to get away, because we've had a very busy schedule lately, so it gives everybody a break. All right, go and towel down. Now, when you come out for the second period, are you going to wear hockey gloves or boxing gloves? I don't know. It looks like I was wearing boxing gloves, but I ran into a few sticks last night. But like I said, we have to pick up the tempo a little bit. We didn't skate as well as we wanted to, and we have to get some more team speed going. All right, Mark Howe, stay healthy. And for joining us tonight on ESPN, Mark gets the stylish Loris Sports Watch. Loris, the official timepiece of ESPN. 2-2. Flyers all knotted up with the Kings. We'll be back with Tom Mees after these messages.
Between the second and third periods, let's go back to the Spectrum in Philadelphia and Sam Rose.
Thanks, Tom. The Flyers and the LA Kings are on the ice, just about set to start the second period. Hopefully things are under control after a fight-filled and penalty-filled first period, which seemed to offset the Kings a little bit in the early going, but they seemed to get it together in the last 5 minutes of that first period, Brad, and got the 2 goals to tie it.
A nice comeback to get back in the game for the Kings. The interesting thing is both teams, I think, now you're going to see hockey. Now it's going to go end-to-end. The 2 points become more valuable than establishing territory, and I think the first period, we saw both teams establishing that they're here to play tonight. The second and third period, it's going to start settling down.
Each team lost a man in that first period. Dean Kennedy, game misconduct for L.A., and Eddie Hospodar, game misconduct for Philadelphia. Paul Gay trying to work the puck out of the zone. Poulin gets it to Derrick Smith. Smith along the boards. Throws it in front, deflected over to Tiger Williams. Tiger Williams in his 12th year in the NHL, his 4th team. Bring it down. Lindbergh leaves it for Mark Howe. Off the boards, Galley couldn't keep it in. Race for the puck. Poulin tries to get there. Wells knocks it away. Picked up by Derrick Smith. Smith in his 2nd year to Poulin. Poulin with a quick shot, sticked aside by Janecyk. Brad McCrimmon shoots. Janecyk saves it. The rebound on the far side. Poulin there. In the slot, Derrick Smith. Looks, shoots, glove save, Janecyk. Somehow he found it through the screen. Set in front by Tim Kerr, who was tied up with Jay Wells. And Janecyk got the glove on it, bobbled it up into the air, and grabbed it.
One of those plays, Sam, kind of look what I found. Now watch Smith get the puck here in the slot. Bobbles it, but then he realizes he's got time. He looks, he throws it through a bunch of legs. Janecyk comes up, gives it a couple, juggles it, gives it a grab, pulls it in, and takes a good look at it. Now Smith bobbles the pass coming out of the corner. Now he looks, he knows he doesn't have time. He chips it through some legs, hoping to catch Janecyk, not with his eye on the puck. But Janecyk has been playing real well. I think, talking to Phil Muir the other day, he said, I asked him how his goaltenders were doing. He said they're not playing as well as they had last year. They are not playing with the confidence that they had. And that goes with the record. When you lose 9 hockey games out of your first 12, it's very hard to play with confidence.
Janecyk was 22, 21, and 8 last year. 3.66 goals against. Darren Elliott, the backup goaltender, also had a winning record. Kings finished 2 games above 500 and made the playoffs. Eliminated in the first round by the Edmonton Oilers. Shot from the point, deflects into the corner. Played by Phil Sykes. As one of the 2 LA goals. Out Brian Engblom and Bernie Nichols. Brad Marsh. Peter Zezel drops it in. It comes to Sinisalo. Nice feed to Prop. He shoots wide. A backhander high and wide. Bernie Nichols has it knocked away. Greg Redmond clears the puck out. Driven back in by Crossman. Janecyk plays it. Leaves it for Engblom. Almost beaten to it by Zezel. Good bump along the boards by Sinisalo on Taylor. And the Flyers able to keep the puck in the LA zone. Now Taylor with it. Bill Sykes has it knocked away. Marsh tries to clear it. Peter Zezel picks it up. Janecyk comes out to play it. Engblom leaves it for Bernie Nichols. Banned on the pass. Zezel took it back in. A penalty is called. Penalty upcoming. 18:15 to go. Second period. Flyers and LA Kings 2-2.
Plug into Pacific Northwest Bell's network for a range of business telecommunications services no one else can offer, like our Centraflex phone system, our Light Guide technology that links computers for instant data transmission, our database access capability that permits funds transfer, and someday video marketing. We even have seminars to help you increase sales and become a bigger success than you already are. Pacific Northwest Bell. When you're ready to talk business, we're the first place to call.
Auto accidents are a leading cause of personal injury. Oftentimes, the insurance company will ask you to sign a release. Before you sign anything, see us at Abeta and Nelson. We're experts in personal injury and death cases, and we'll see that you get a fair settlement. There is no charge to discuss your case with us, and no fee unless we recover for you. So if you've been seriously injured, call us at Abeta and Nelson, the firm that gets results.
This electronic timer will show how fast you can relieve sore throat pain.
My sore throat feels very red and hot.
Will you try Chloraseptic?
Sure.
Now watch the timer.
Well, that's nice. That works really good.
With doctor-recommended Chloraseptic, relief is just seconds away.
Give me a light. Go! Bud Light.
If you just ask for a light beer, you never know what you'll get.
Give me a light. Bud Light.
So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, don't just ask for a light beer.
Give me a light.
Ask them to bring out their best.
Bud Light.
Bud Light.
Thank you.
Because everything else is just a light.
A look at Peter Zezel taking a little exception to a check by Dave Taylor, coming back and retaliating. Did not like the check. Kerry Fraser holding his arm up while the play progressed down into the Kings' end. And Peter Zezel is going to serve 2 minutes. And it's something that the LA Kings is a great opportunity for him to take the lead in the hockey game for the first time.
Second power play for the LA Kings. Score tied 2-2. Janecyk had trouble with the puck, wound up kicking it into the corner. Murray Craven over there takes a bump. Brian Wilkes, the rookie, has it. Chased by Sinisalo over to Phil Sykes. Strange power play unit for the LA Kings. Wells had 2 goals last night. He had 2 goals all of last season. All the way around. Marsh tied up with Sykes. Craven couldn't clear it. Deflected up into the crowd by Gary Galley. 1:34 to go on the power play. Gary Galley, the offensive defenseman, 8 goals last year, 6 goals already this season.
Leads all National Hockey League defensemen in goals. How about that for a young guy, sophomore? The Kings power play, the key guy in this one is going to be Tiger Williams. He's going to be in front of the net, and he's going to be creating as much confusion and a screen on Lindbergh, and they're going to have to get the good point shots because you don't want to waste a guy like that who's going to be doing that job for you in front of the net.
Tiger Williams battling with Brad Marsh. In comes Crossman, gets it around Wilkes. On the near side, Sinisalo stopped by Jay Wells, but Murray Craven will be able to clear, sends Crossman out. Crossman down against Gary Galley. Crossman waits for help and just drops the puck off. Minute 10 to go in the LA power play. 17:25 to go, second period, 2-2 the score. Galley ahead for Sykes. Brian Wilkes pulled down, gets up, takes a bump from Craven. Wilkes digging for the puck. It's still loose. Wilkes has it. Wilkes, the back pass to Wells. He shoots. Save Lindbergh. Finds the rebound and knocks it into the corner. Loose along the board. Sykes has it. Sykes sends it up. Tiger Williams is in front. Sykes controlling, looking for a pass. The shot by Wells. He scores! Jay Wells with his 4th goal of the season. Driving one from the blue line. He had 2 last night. It's a power play goal, and the Kings have scored 3 in a row to lead 3-2.
A screen shot by Wells. The puck comes back. Watch Williams in front of the net. Lindbergh does not see this one. Goes down behind Brad Marsh, and actually Tiger Williams did not screen him as bad as Brad Marsh did. Now watch Williams move in front, nudge him. Brad Marsh dead center. Lindbergh goes down over his right shoulder. He was looking for the puck. And there's one thing where you've got a guy in front of the net. Marsh should have stayed with Williams just to give Lindbergh a chance to see the puck and end up with his own defenseman screened him.
Jay Wells' career high. There's a save, a pretty one by Janecyk on the shot by Rich Sutter. Sutter digging for it along the boards with Craig Redmond. Sutter behind to run. Sutter. That shot goes wide as Lindsey Carson came in. Centering pass from Rich Sutter comes all the way out. Jay Wells' career high was 5 goals in 1980-81. He has 4 already this year. Ron Sutter comes in. Redmond trying to get back. Ron Sutter shoots, leg save. Janecyk, rebound, score! It's Rich Sutter. The Sutter brothers, who have been working very well this season, work hard to get the tying goal.
A nice play by the 2 Sutter brothers. Ron carrying the puck down to the right side of Janecyk, cutting in. Janecyk making the save, but in doing so is down, and brother Rich follows in and just chips it up into the, about halfway up in the net, makes no mistake. Here's Ron Sutter cutting in. Now Redmond had pulled off him here, leaving him for Engblom. Redmond had tried to pick up Rich Sutter, but did not do the job that he should have, and Rich Sutter walks in and knocks on the rebound.
4th goal of the year for Rich Sutter. He scored 6 all of last year in 56 games. So Rich Sutter starting to come into his own. He's 21 years old. This is his 3rd year in the NHL. But it's been up and down, been benched a lot, but finally looks like he's really starting to play well.
Both brothers are really starting to mature. Ron Sutter has been playing more last year, and Rich sparingly.
Here's Eklund
now they're
coming
both
in.
developing.
Centering pass knocked away by Galley. Delayed penalty coming up on the LA Kings. That shot sticked aside by Janecyk up into the crowd. Flyers have a power play coming up. We're in the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Flyers 3, Kings 3. Penalty minute leader in the NHL gets 2 minor penalties, 2 for slashing and 2 for cross-checking. So he's out for 4 minutes.
An unusual call by Kerry Fraser, and in many situations you're going to see a player take a penalty, knows he has a penalty, and he's going to go out and he's going to do something else, saying the referee is not going to call a second penalty on me. And that's why it's an unusual call, because most referees don't, but Kerry Fraser did tonight. And Tiger Williams is going to be in the box for 4 minutes. And now, as L.A. had taken advantage of their power play. It's up to Philadelphia.
Shot by Prop hit the outside of the net. Flyers' third power play is this one for 4 minutes. Prop with a shot. Save Janecyk. Rebound is another save with Tim Kerr getting a little bit on the backhand. Galley was trying to tie him up. And the puck frozen by Janecyk. Kerr scored the power play goal earlier in the game. Flyers had a 5-minute power play in the first period, did not score. And then Kerr scored on a power play opportunity in the first period a little later on.
Here's Reg Kerr doing the same job that Tiger Williams does. Two big boys. Kerr moving around trying to get free. He's going to be in front of the net. He's very hard to move. He's a strong guy, and he's got a great touch around that goal crease.
Now, we all remember Reg Kerr played in the National Hockey League, but that's Tim Kerr.
That's Tim Kerr,
okay.
right.
Flyers coming in with a man advantage. Prop goes over with Galley. Galley tries to clear it and does. 3.5 minutes to go in the man advantage. For the Philadelphia Flyers, 15:20 to go. Second period, 3-3 the score. Wells scoring here in the second period for Los Angeles. Rich Sutter for the Philadelphia Flyers. Sinisalo comes off the boards. Feed for Kerr, broken up by Doug Smith. Smith comes out with the puck. Sykes on the right side. Smith, a good skater, good speed, breaks down, comes in front, saved by Lindbergh, and he finally smothers the rebound. Jim Kelly, what's going on?
Well, Sam, as you know, ESPN has the exclusive rights for the America's Cup that'll be contested in 1987, and we've got a wonderful preview for you tonight coming up right after the hockey game. For the America's Cup, of course, 6 U.S. challengers will spend $100 million for the right to bring the cup back. Dennis Conner, who lost up at Newport last time out, has labeled that battle a war. So February the 87 is not really that far off. And tonight on ESPN, America's Cup 87, bring back the cup right after the hockey game, which, if Wells and Brown have anything to say about it, the next time those two combatants step out on the ice, Sam, will be a long night.
Could be. Right here, it's 3-3. Wells scored at 3:05 on the power play goal, assisted by Sykes. Rich Sutter answered back just 36 seconds later at 3:41, assisted by Ron Sutter and Brad McCrimmon. Williams off for 4 minutes, 2 for slashing, 2 for cross-checking at 4:08. 3:06 remaining in the power play for the Philadelphia Flyers. Brad McCrimmon with a buck. Forechecking is Doug Smith. Poulin goes over to help out. McCrimmon decides to try the right side for Pelle Eklund. Eklund comes in against Brian Engblom. Janecyk stopped it around the glass. Kept in. No, McCrimmon couldn't stop it. Mark Howe recovers, chased back by Doug Smith. Howe looks for some protection, helped out by Lindbergh. He almost shot it on goal. McCrimmon around to Howe. 2.5 minutes to go on the power play. Here comes Brian Prop. Prop comes in. Setting it up along the boards. He looks. McCrimmon's open at the right point. Decides to go to the circle for Howe. Howe in control. Picked up by Craig Redmond. Now it's Eklund. Checked by Anders Hawkinson. Now it's Howe for McCrimmon for the shot way wide. Mark Howe, Phil Sykes to the board. Sykes clears. 2 minutes to go in the penalty to Tiger Williams. 13:50 to go second period. 3-3 to score.
The Flyers having a little tough time on the power play. You know, they're making long passes in the other team's end instead of the short, quick passes and moving the puck a little bit easier. The long passes, they're having to airmail it, and the person who's receiving the pass is having a tough time picking it up.
To the point, Craven. Saved by Janecyk. The rebound still loose. Craven again. Winds it around for Zezel. Zezel hit by Engblom. Overcomes Nichols to clear. 1.5 minutes to go. In the Flyers' man advantage, Murray Craven. First-round draft pick of the Detroit Red Wings. His second year with the Flyers. An outstanding year last year. Now it's Peter Zezel. Zezel against Jay Wells. Zezel trying to work it in front. They score! What a play by Zezel to Tim Kerr. Who else? The man who led the NHL in power play goals last year at 4-3 Flyers.
Tim Kerr being in the right place at the right time. Now the key to this goal is Zezel going wide on Wells. The puck slips through the crease off of Zezel's stick. But on the other side, Bernie Nichols cannot be strong enough to handle Tim Kerr, and he's right there to stuff it in. That's an overmatch. Kerr is too big for Nichols to handle.
Do you think Janecyk could have blocked that pass?
No, he could have blocked the pass. It was one thing where the goaltender has the stick. A lot of times they don't want to turn it out because it hits the heel of their stick and goes through their feet. He was counting on somebody picking up. He's not responsible for the pass as much as he's responsible for the shots.
13 minutes to go in this second period. The Flyers have regained the lead. They led 2-0. Good hit by Ron Sutter on Jay Wells. 4-3 Flyers. Rich Sutter fanned on the shot. And now it's Ron Sutter against Jay Wells. One hands it across. In comes Lindsey Carson. His shot was blocked by Galley. Over comes Ron Sutter. Dion is there. Marcel Dion on for the first time in the second period. Ryan Wilkes across the line. Feet is behind McClellan. Lost it. Crossman. Out with Ron Sutter on the right side. Janecyk around the boards. Another weird carom. And Wells tries the boards again. McClellan bumped by Rich Sutter. Ron Sutter gets it over to Carson. Now Rich Sutter lost it. Out comes Wilkes. Crossman and Marsh are back, and Wilkes will circle. Marcel Dion, two-line pass. 12:07 to go, second period. Flyers 4, LA Kings 3.
A Delco music system delivers sound so true, you may never stop listening. Nothing else sounds quite like Delco because it's specifically designed to work with the acoustics of your very own GM car while it's still on the drawing board.
Sir, your dessert.
Delco designed in sound. You'll love it too much to leave it.
Dessert, sir.
Sam Rosen and Brad Park at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Flyers 4, the LA Kings 3.
Sam, I talked about the mismatch of Nichols trying to take care of Tim Kerr. You've got a 40-pound difference in strength and weight there. You know, Nichols is 185 and Kerr goes in at 225. You've got a big difference there.
Kerr is just very, very strong. Derrick Smith tied up, pulled down, penalty call. Al Tour is going to go, and the Flyers, who have a 4-3 lead, will get another power play opportunity. 11:51 to go. Here it is again.
Okay, here's a look. There's a hook up around the chin, pulling Derrick Smith down. Pulls him around, and Tour is going to take 2 minutes for that. And another opportunity for the Philadelphia Flyers. You know, a lot of times defensemen, you end up, you want to put the hook on the guy that's going wide on you and pull a pitchfork on him. Now, there's two things you can do. The wrong way is if you pull the guy back, you're going to get in a lot of trouble.
The cheers here at the Spectrum are for Philadelphia Flyers broadcaster Gene Hart, who just returned after recuperating from a double bypass heart operation. We welcome him back. It's great to see him back. He's in the lower press box, and it was flashed on the scoreboard, and that brought the cheers from for the fine, long-time play-by-play announcer of the Philadelphia Flyers, Gene Hart, and it's certainly good to see him back and healthy again.
Oh, definitely. He's, if you're a person who lives in Philadelphia, Gene Hart's a very, very familiar name to you. He's been the voice of the Flyers for many, many years. And even as a visiting player coming in, you learn to appreciate him. He always had good words for you, and this and that, and took the time to come over and talk.
Always has a joke.
Always
starts with a joke or two. Mike Keenan looking around to set up the Flyers power play. They're now 2 for 3 on the power play. Kerr has both power play goals. The last one from Zezel and Crossman at 6:53. Time of the penalty was 8:09. Tour off for hooking. Kerr, Sinisalo, Poulin, Howe, and McCrimmon on for Philadelphia. Kerr with a puck. Now it's Poulin, checked by Dion, and Galley's over there. Poulin kicks it free. Galley. Double team by Sinisalo and Poulin. Sinisalo, number 23, back to the point. McCrimmon couldn't keep it in. 1:40 to go in the Flyers power play. Flyers lead 4-3. 11:30 to go in the second period. Nichols takes it away and dumps it to Flyers zone. Brad McCrimmon. Mark Howe. Left wing, that's Peter Zezel looking in front for Kerr. Centering pass just missed Kerr. Out comes Bill Sykes. Has Doug Smith on the right wing. Finds him beautifully with a pass. Smith's shot is high off the glass. Sinisalo back for Philadelphia. Sinisalo comes in against Engblom, who pokes it away, and the puck stopped by McCrimmon. For a shot, save Janecyk, rebound, another save, a rebound, score! Peter Zezel. Janecyk pounds the stick on the ice in frustration, but the Flyers attacking the net, and Zezel got the second rebound. It's 5-3 Philadelphia.
Bob Janecyk very upset. Brad McCrimmon picking off this Aaron Clear pass. The first save by Janecyk comes in. The second save, the third save. It's up. You just have no body position after you committed yourself twice. There's the shot by Brad McCrimmon. It's kicked out. Here's Sinisalo going in. Janecyk recovering. Shuts it off along the ice. Now we come back in. Zezel just snuffs it again the third time.
Three Kings around there, and nobody helped Janecyk at all. Zezel second, third power play goal of the game for the Flyers in 4 tries, and they now have the 2-goal lead again, 5-3.
What happened there, Sam, was the Kings got caught on the change. Redmond, as the Flyers were breaking out, there was a change. He got on the ice. He was not in his position. He ended up with a puck back in deep, tried to clear it, skating backwards away from where he was clearing, and McCrimmon picked it off.
Tour and Brown. The standoff. The linesman getting in. Tour, the rookie, just in his second game. Big Brown, 10:37 to go. Second period. Flyers 5, LA Kings 3.
This too? Does a pencil in your hand start you sketching on any old piece of paper, drawing heads or figures or little scenes, or maybe your dog? If you like to play around with a pencil, chances are you have the basic interest needed to help you become a serious art student. Here's how you can find out. Art instruction schools will send you free, without cost or obligation, this simple art test. You take it at home in your spare time. Experts will examine and grade your test. Remember, it's absolutely free. Just write or phone for your free art test today. Phone this number now. Operators are waiting. Or write to Art Test, give your name, address, and age.
Al Tour is the only man penalized, so Dave Brown was the innocent party that time.
Hard to believe, but Al Tour went after Dave Brown. Dave Brown kept his gloves on, stayed out of the altercation. Kerry Fraser said it's a one-sided affair. Al Tour, you've got 2 minutes. The Flyers have got another power play. It's 5-3. A goal by the Flyers now could just turn this game and turn into a rout.
Break it open. 9:23 the time of the penalty. Tour, in 56 games in New Haven last season, had 241 penalty minutes. In his first 7 games in New Haven this year, had 48 penalty minutes. So he is quite familiar with sitting in the penalty box. And now we've got Brown and Wells. It's their third matchup of the game. And this time it's Brown. Last time it was Wells. This is their third fight of the game.
Now that's a good stand up, stand back, and 2 heavyweights go at it. Jay Wells taking a little bit worse of the licking as he was standing up. Brown's got a little height advantage and reach on him, and now Brown's having a little talk to him, say, yep, I got you back. This time I face you head on. Decision's mine.
Well, that will be it for the night. For both players, they're gone.
I'll tell you what, a good thing, I admire a guy like Jay Wells. Comes into the building, and you can always tell a guy who comes to play because he's not afraid to duke it out on the road. And you got to give a guy like Jay Wells a lot of credit, even though he didn't make out as well as he wanted in that altercation. A little look down at the bench. Tiger Williams.
He was getting involved with one of the fans as he was heading back to the bench.
Here's a good look at it. There's Brown. Now he gets Wells off balance. He comes through with a left. You got a lefty and a righty. And Wells is looking at him, and Brown's got the upper reach. He's punching down, and Wells is punching up. You know, when you're fighting a bigger man, one of the things you want to do, if he's got a reach advantage, you want to keep him in close. You get those guys with the long arms. If you can keep them in close, they can't get anything on their punches. And what guys like Brown will try to do, and the big, tall, 6'5", 6 foot, they want to lock that arm, so they keep you. You can't reach them. They want to lock you and control and wail away with their free hand.
Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot. Is it time to talk about banning hockey? Banning hockey, excuse me, banning fighting from hockey entirely? I mean, obviously, it could be done with harsh penalties. Can it be done? Should it be done? What do you think?
Okay, my opinion on that, and solely my opinion, I would hate to see it completely leave the game. I think that there are things that you have to take into consideration, that once you ban the use of, you have a body contact sport, you have physical intimidation, and you have players on the ice that if they cannot settle things with their hands, they may take matters into their hands with their sticks. It's an emotional game.
But doesn't all this fighting that we've seen here tonight take away from the game?
Okay. The one thing that I think would be good to curb it is when you're talking, you can go out and be an aggressive player and get in a fight and this and that. I think that when you have players who get over 250 minutes and penalties a year, that their sole job is to go out and intimidate and go that distance all the time, anytime. I think when a player, and you could bring it down to 200 minutes in penalties, that when a player achieves 200 minutes in penalties, he gets an automatic 10-game suspension. When he hits 250, he's out for the rest of the year. Now, you're going to have guys that aren't going to do it every game. They've got to start picking their spots.
Okay, the penalties. Brown got 5 for fighting and a game misconduct. Wells got 5 for fighting and a game misconduct. And let's go to the guy who is sitting quietly in the studio, Jim Kelly, to check out on this night in the National Hockey League.
Well, ironically, Sam, on this night in the NHL a year ago, it involved one of the players we're watching tonight. Bob Janecyk had a shutout against Toronto in a 7-0 win in Los Angeles, and it was the first of 2 regular season shutouts for the Kings netminder, but things aren't going so well tonight. On this night, November 1st, a year ago. To pick up on what Brad was talking about, Brad, I'd like to ask you a question, though. Even if they lowered the penalty minutes to 200, couldn't the clubs just call up some other goons?
Okay, there aren't that many good people that you can have on the ice without hurting your hockey club. If they were that good of players, they wouldn't be in the minors in the first place, and somebody else would have picked them up. It's very hard to have a player that's going to be able to go out and be on the ice without hurting your hockey club.
The man you had a look at in the press box was Rick Tuckett, the fine right wing of the Flyers, who was injured the other night in Montreal. He's sitting out tonight, and Tuckett is used to the rough stuff, just a youngster, but the leader in penalty minutes on the Flyers last season.
He's a good aggressive player, played very well in the playoffs last year, and not afraid to mix it up, but a grinder, corner man type of player. He's not afraid to go in there and bump bodies. I think, you know, with respect with what Jim was saying, sure, they could bring a lot of players up. They could bring this and that. And if you see that happening, then they're going to take rules and regulations that, you know, that, hey, you know, it can carry over. You start bringing people up, boom, you're going to restrict your players. You're going to start grading them or things like this. I don't think the coaches, don't have that room for that many type of people on your hockey club. There's a look at Al Tour, who's going to see a lot of penalty minutes tonight, 139, and Al Tour is going to see a lot more ice time tonight because Jay Wells is gone, Dean Kennedy is gone. They're down to 4 defensemen.
A 2-minute roughing penalty was assessed to Dave Brown as well, and Pelle Eklund is serving the 2-minute minor. So the teams will be skating 4 aside when they resume action. 10:37 to go in the second period. The shots on goal were even at the end of the first at 12 apiece. Here in the second, the Flyers are out shooting the Kings 12-3. Flyers have come up with 3 goals here in the second, 2 power play goals, and the Kings have scored 1. Kings had a brief lead at 3-2 when Wells scored at 3:05, but after that it was Rich Sutter, Tim Kerr, and Peter Zezel. Kerr and Zezel power play goals. Now skating for a 5-on-4 advantage. No, we're even. We're at full strength. 5-on-5, excuse me. 10.5 minutes to go. And that arose because the Tour penalty had not started when the fight began with Brown involved. So it's coincidental minors with Brown and Tour. And no loss of manpower this year, the new rule in the NHL. Skating 5 aside, Flyers with the lead. Prop coming in. Janecyk knocks it aside. Played by Ilkka Sinisalo. Checked by Nichols. Galley gets rid of it, and Dave Taylor has it. Taylor wards off the check of Zezel. Comes in against Howe. And offside is called with 9:52 to go in the second period.
Well, look at Brian Engblom. He's going to see a lot more ice time tonight. LA being down to 4 defensemen. As I said before, he's being paired out there with Craig Redmond. You've got the veteran and you have the rookie. And a lot of times, a situation like this, a young guy will learn from an older guy. And it's one of those things that it helps a guy. You go on the bench and the older guy's going to sit down. Well, you remember that play. You should have eased off that man. Let him go wide. Don't worry about him. That kind of conversation takes place on the bench all the time.
Crossman and Marsh on the back line for Philadelphia. Marsh finds Carson. It's past him. Ron Sutter puts it in the LA zone. Engblom is back. Rich Sutter on him. The puck is left behind the net. Rich Sutter wins it. Well, Ron Sutter was just tipped away by Taylor. McClellan's pass to Dion. Lindbergh stops the puck for Crossman. Redmond stops it, gives it to Dion. Dion finds McClellan. McClellan back pass to Redmond. Pass McClellan for Dion. Brian Wilkes in front. Dion held up by Brad Marsh. And the puck cleared down by Rich Sutter. Flyers will take an icing here as the puck comes all the way back. Redmond makes the touch. 9:08 to go in the second period. And the Flyers with a 5-3 lead. The LA Kings will head home after this game. We'll play the Edmonton Oilers in LA on Wednesday night. There is Craig Redmond, first-round draft pick of the LA Kings. Last year, he was the 6th player chosen overall. Had 6 goals last season, 39 points. Played on the Canadian Olympic team in 1984. He struggled defensively.
A lot of times you're going to see a young guy who had very good. What would you consider a guy that can do the game or move the puck, and he's going to be working on his defense? You can't bring a young guy in, and sometimes you get a superstar who comes in 18 to 20 years old, and they take control of a hockey game. That happens very, very few times. You're talking about a Bobby Orr at that time. You're talking about, you know, Paul Coffey, his first couple of years in the league. You look at him now, he's a great hockey player. You're going to have Ray Bourque came in, dominated right away. Craig Redmond is going to take 2 or 3 years. He's going to gain his confidence in that time. And you look at him 2 or 3 years from now, and he's going to be an entirely different hockey player.
Puck frozen. Tiger Williams is involved. Look out. Tiger is in the middle of that pile, or that gathering. Mixed up with Brad McCrimmon. There's Tim Kerr, and then the linesmen, McCord and Vines, come in to try and settle things down. And they do. Tiger.
A few words of wisdom from El Tiger.
How was he in Detroit? He didn't seem to get a feel for Detroit and really get into the flow of things, and was sent down and eventually traded to the LA Kings.
Well, it was one of those things where we weren't doing very well in Detroit last year. We weren't winning consistently, and they were shuffling people around. And Tiger was one of the guys that ended up on the odd man out in the shuffle, and he moved him to Los Angeles, and he really likes it out there. He's one of the guys, and you go through a career in the National Hockey League, and there's certain people you should have the opportunity to play with. Tiger Williams is a guy that everybody should have an opportunity to play with Tiger Williams. Just like Eddie Shack. Everybody should have played with Eddie Shack.
Flyers lead the Kings 5-3, 8:55 to go in the second period. Mark Howe, who's puck in center. Derrick Smith comes over, work it in, but Tiger Williams is back. Mark Howe will break up the play. Derrick Smith. Paul Gay sends it into the Flyer zone. And Brad McCrimmon comes back to play the puck. Off the glass. Derrick Smith lost control. Tiger Williams comes over. Tied up by McCrimmon. Gay comes in, finds the puck, centers. There's Smith there, and it was knocked away by Howe. Shot from the point. Lindbergh didn't see it, and it went flying by his right shoulder. Centered for Tiger Williams, couldn't get a shot off. Galley has the puck. Back pass is out of the zone. All the way back to Janecyk. Now to Craig Redmond. On the left side comes Doug Smith. Avoids the check, but left the puck there. Murray Craven is onside as he comes across. Poke checked away by Engblom. Sinisalo coming in after the puck. Galley gets tripped up by Sinisalo. He took the puck away, looking to center. Sinisalo wins it, goes back to Marsh. Marsh to Sinisalo. For Craven, but broken up by Engblom. Kept in by Brad Marsh. No, just across the blue line with 7:36 to go. Jim Kelly, what's happening your way?
Sam, let's check in around the NHL tonight. Edmonton leads Toronto 2-0 after the first period. Goals by Gretzky and Napier. And the St. Louis Blues are on top over the Jets of Winnipeg 1-0. That's at the end of one. That goal by Laberly. You know, seeing Tiger Williams in the center of that last fracas, Brad and I were talking at lunch. And Brad, you said Tiger Williams is not exactly on low lead.
No, Tiger's, he's a guy that really works hard. He's known he has to work all the time. He's a guy that does that extra. You know, he jogs in the summer. He keeps himself in good shape. He's starting to mature as a hockey player, as I like to put it. In other words, he's getting a little bit older. And he does that extra work in the gym and all the little things because he wants to prolong his career.
Kings come out. Anders Hawkinson gives the puck away. Prop. To the feet. Here's Pelle Eklund. Eklund with a drive. Knocked down by Janecyk. Shot by the rookie Pelle Eklund. Kept in by Marsh for Eklund. Eklund backhands it ahead. Prop has the puck. Back for Crossman. He shoots. Save made by Janecyk. Rebound loose, and the Kings able to come out. Lyle Fair, the rookie out of Michigan State, winds it around. Again, the weird carom. Lindbergh couldn't handle that. Kings keep it in. J.P. Kelly after the puck. Marsh has him tied up. Lyle Fair comes over, number 11. Puck is still loose. Flyers trying to clear. Hawkinson picks it up. Off the boards. Marsh going after J.P. Kelly. And a whistle stops play. A penalty is called on the Flyers. 6:43 to go. Second period. Flyers 3. Flyers 5. Kings 3.
Flyers penalty number 8. Brad Marsh, 2 minutes for holding.
Monday, meet the NFL's best on ESPN. First, Marcus Allen steps into the spotlight. Then a history lesson featuring the Pittsburgh Steelers. More football
A little bit of a hold on John Paul Kelly. Brad Marsh is one of those guys that is noted. I had a good reputation for it, of putting a little clutch and grab in certain situations.
Kings power play. They are 0 for 2 thus far. Flyers come in, and Zezel's shot deflects wide of the net. The rebound is blocked by Redmond. Poulin centers. Janecyk stops the puck. Dave Taylor checked by Zezel. Good forechecking by the Flyers. And taken away by McCrimmon, but it's offside. He carried it back into the zone with Zezel still in. Marsh for holding at 13-17. 34 to go in the power play for the LA Kings. Excuse me, the Kings are 1 for 2. Jay Wells scored on the last power play opportunity. Peter Zezel, second round draft pick of the Philadelphia Flyers in 1983. Last year scored 15 goals, 61 points.
Still a young man. He's only 19 or 20 years old. And look at Marcel Dion, the aged veteran. I was called that many times. But what a productive veteran he is. He's lining up against Peter Zezel and using him. Pat Quinn knows they're down 2 goals. He's going with guys who have produced with him in the past.
I'm surprised that he hasn't had this unit on before on the power play. He's got Taylor, McClellan, and Dion on. Kings with a man advantage, and Zezel controls the puck back into his own zone to Mark Howe. Good penalty killing here for the Flyers. Here's Zezel, knocked away by McClellan, picked up by Bernie Nichols. His pass hit Taylor. Taylor to McClellan. McClellan winds it. Taken away by Dion, looking in front. McClellan is in front. Taylor's in the left corner. Nichols from the point for the shot, deflects wide. Lindbergh puts it in the corner. Penalty upcoming. Another penalty on the Flyers. And it'll be a 2-man advantage. McCrimmon's going to go for holding. So with 1:01 left in the penalty to Brad Marsh, it'll be a 2-man advantage for the LA Kings.
Brad McCrimmon putting a hold on Brian McClellan in front of the net. Here's the point shot. Watch McCrimmon wrap his arms around McClellan. Not a bad thing. Here's the shot, goes deflected. Now McClellan goes to get the puck, but McCrimmon keeps the hold on him. He had to let him go and get the puck. He had him tied up in front. He just held him a little bit too long. A good opportunity for the Kings now.
Big chance.
A 5-on-3. What they're going to have to do, most teams in this situation will designate one of their forwards to interfere with one of the Flyers' defensemen, enabling momentum to get a good shot. A lot of teams, they forget to do this, so you've got to remind your forwards.
Flyers lead 5-3 with 5:40 to go in the second period. Mark Howe tries to clear and does. Bernie Nichols back for the puck. And the Kings come up with a 5-on-3 skating situation. Nichols shoots it into the corner. Taylor after it. Crossman is there first. And it's stopped by Nichols at the point. Sets up the advantage. McClellan in the corner with the puck. Now to Dave Taylor. Taylor to Dion. Dion looking. Skates out. Back for Taylor. Taylor across, missed by Nichols. Right through his legs. Overcomes Poulin to clear. 20 seconds to go in the first penalty. A minute 18 to go in the second penalty. 5 minutes to go, second period. 5-3 Flyers.
Surprise, Sam, that we're not seeing anybody pick the Flyers defenseman in order to give somebody more time to move the puck.
Dion's cross-ice pass is behind Williams. Here's Craig Redmond with it. Redmond looking in front. Dion and Williams in front. And it's taken away and cleared. One man is back. Marsh is out. It's a 5-on-4 advantage for 50 seconds for the LA Kings. Wilkes with a feed for Galley. Is shot blocked by Crossman. Crossman has room to clear and does. Ron Sutter all over Bernie Nichols. Tiger Williams picks up the puck. 35 seconds to go in the LA Kings power play. Williams lost it. Crossman clears it. Anglo picks it up. 28 seconds to go in the power play for the Kings. Here comes Brian Wilkes across the line. Drop pass for Galley. He fanned on it. Galley goes after the puck. He's tied up by Thomas Erickson, who's on for the Flyers. Loose puck. Picked up by Mark Howe, and he clears. And that should do it. So a great job of penalty killing for the Philadelphia Flyers as they killed off a 2-man advantage for the Kings. And the cheers are for the Flyers penalty killing. 3:40 to go, second period. And the Flyers have a 5-3 lead. Wilkes having trouble getting away from Brian Propp. Williams knocks the puck out of the zone, didn't get out. Eklund ahead for Propp. Now it's cleared out. Icing waved off as Lindbergh stops the puck for Brad Marsh.
You can see a little frustration on Los Angeles Kings. They're starting to rush their plays. They're starting to rush their passes up the boards. The one thing the Flyers are doing better than the Kings right now is when they shoot it in, they're shooting it in so one of their players can get it.
Shot by Smith. Nice save. Tough save by Pelle Lindbergh. And it's cleared up the boards to Eklund. Eklund tied up. Gets it out of the zone. 3 minutes to go in the second period. Tim Kerr with 2 goals in the game. Comes in. Lost control. Janecyk for J.P. Kelly. Couldn't play it. Thomas Erickson, who's on the ice for the first time. Another weird bounce off the corner boards. Craig Redmond carries for L.A. Nice pass to Anders Hawkinson. Hawkinson in front for Kelly, who is tied up by Erickson. Kelly has it knocked away. Kerr able to clear the zone. 2.5 minutes to go in the second period. He's puck in center. That's Ron Sutter picking it up. And coming across, feed for Kerr is off his skates. McCrimmon has to wait for his teammates to get onside. Greg Redmond plays the puck. Lindsey Carson on him. Good check by Carson as the puck is cleared out. Mark Howe will go back to get it. Now it's Rich Sutter, who has one of the goals broken up by Redmond. Kings trying to break out. This is Bill Sykes coming down. Waits for some help. Comes in, but gave the puck away to Carson. Brad McCrimmon with 1:50 to go. In the period, whistle stops play, a delayed offside against the LA Kings. 1:49 to go, second period. Flyers 3, Flyers 5, Kings 3.
At the conclusion of this period, to see the Flyers sales representatives at the information booth on the top course. Thank you.
Flyers.
Kind of something that Philadelphia's got to be aware of. They've got 1:49 to go before the end of the period. They've got a 2-goal lead. Don't get careless. Don't get sloppy. Don't give LA any hope.
Crossman clearing it out from in front. Sykes recovers for LA with 1:35 to go. Marsh pushing it ahead. Sykes is there. Bumped by Craven. Zezel left the puck in center. And Gary Galley finds a way into the Flyers zone. Galley cross ice for Tour. Save Lindbergh. Sykes carries the rebound behind the net. Crossman trying to take it away. Sykes in front for Nichols. And the save was made by Lindbergh. He got the leg on it and deflected it wide. Battle along the boards. It's still loose. Kick free. And Zezel drives it around the boards all the way out. Flyers will take an icing here just to stop things and get out of trouble. 1:01 to go in the second period. Jim Kelly, what's coming up between periods?
Well, Sam, coming up, I'll tell you who we've got. We've got a star from the LA Kings. In 14 years in the National Hockey League, he has 10 40-plus goal seasons. He's third on the NHL all-time scoring list. He's Marcel Dion of the Kings. He'll be my guest, and of course, we'll check in with Tom Eads for scores and highlights with everything going on around the National Hockey League tonight, and to check in with Sports Center as well for those National Football League games. I told you Brown and Wells would not be around at the end.
You were right about that. We needed you to referee that one. 3 fights for Brown and Wells tonight. First one I thought was a draw, second one to Wells, and the third one to Brown. So standoff for the night.
It seemed only right and fair.
Pelle Lindbergh, what a year he had last year. Played 65 games, another 18 in the playoffs.
A great save. He just made 2 great saves in that in the last 48 seconds. He came across, shut down a shot. The puck came back out to Nichols. Nichols didn't have anything to shoot at, so he threw an off-speed chip shot at him, hoping Lindbergh would slide by the net and get it over him and slide back in the net. But Lindbergh came up big in both instances.
Kings keeping the pressure on. McCrimmon sends it around with 48 seconds to go in the period. And Rich Sutter sending it all the way down. This will be another icing called as Redmond makes the touch. 41 seconds to go in the second period, a period in which the Kings are really being outshot by the Philadelphia Flyers.
They are. You can tell that Philadelphia, they wanted to pick up, as Mark Howard said, they wanted to pick up the flow of the game, the tempo of the game, the speed of the game. Not that type of game is not probably in the best interest of the Kings on the road in Philadelphia. It's an advantage to the Flyers, and they have done that. They've had some power play opportunities. Kerr's come up big from. They've had a very tough time last night with the power play. It's been very successful tonight for them.
Shots in the second period. Philadelphia 15, LA Kings 6. Marcel Dion, whose contract has been extended through 1990 by owner Jerry Buss. Well, he'll be around a long time.
He's been a franchise player out there. He's one guy that I know every year that I played against him in every game that you say, you've got to watch this guy. You can't give him a break. He's got a great knack of shooting the puck in full stride and catching a goaltender before the goaltender is set. He'll catch the goaltender move. He has a great knack on the power play for coming around behind the net and sliding it along the ice. A smart player, a franchise player, and it's only right that, you know, you think somebody deserves something for the work and effort they put in. He's the guy.
And he's the last man to win the NHL scoring championship prior to Wayne Gretzky, who has won it 5 years in a row. Gary Fraser trying to settle things down. 2 guys who like to mix it up. Rich Sutter and Tiger Williams doing a little bumping as Marcel Dion looks things over. Doug Smith, Tiger Williams, and Marcel Dion the line for LA. Nice steal by Poulin. Poulin comes in. Poulin shot it wide and knocked the post off the hinges. Shaken up. Unfortunately, the net gives way. Dave Poulin going flying after that shot. Just went wide.
Great effort by Dave Poulin, the captain of the Flyers.
Another find, a free agent find for the Flyers a few years back. This is 3rd year in the NHL.
Did a great job. He knew that the defenseman Redmond was coming. Redmond slid. He pulled it to his backhand, knew he wasn't going to be able to get his balance, and shot it on his way down and just missed the upper corner. And, you know, it's kind of a sacrifice. He didn't care where he ended up. He was more interested in getting that goal, and he made the play, made the commitment, and slid into the post because he had lost his balance.
Take a look at it again. Look at Poulin.
He just dances by there, tips it by the defenseman, and now he's got, now watch Redmond come into your screen. He dives. Poulin pulls it, he loses balance, and just shoots it wide and crashes into that right post. Now that's a great instance of the safety of these nets now.
Face off outside the LA blue line. Dave Poulin, who started Notre Dame, was playing in Sweden, where he was found by former assistant coach of the Flyers, Ted Sater. Ted Sater currently head coach of the New York Rangers. Mark Howe drives it off the glass and out. And Poulin has had 2 30-goal seasons for the Flyers, currently the captain. That shot by Sutter hit the side of the net with 5 seconds to go in the period. Dion picks up the puck, races down, 1 more shot. And it's wide, and that does it. The LA Kings scored the first goal of the second period and had a 3-2 lead, but then the Flyers woke up and scored 3, getting right back 36 seconds after Wells had scored for LA. Rich Sutter scored to tie it. Then Kerr and Zezel with power play goals, and the Flyers have a 5-3 lead, end of 2. For the Kings, what do they have to do in that third period?
Well, they know that they're in a tough building. They're dealing with a very good hockey club. It's one thing where you're not going to win the game in the first 5 minutes or 10 minutes of the game. You're not going to even pull it even. You've got to be prepared to throw a 20-minute period at them. And you've got to come out, and you've got to come out with a lot of determination right from the start.
End of 2, Flyers 5, LA Kings 3. We'll be right back with Jim Kelly and his guest from the Los Angeles Kings, Marcel Dion.
6 goals league in scoring all time. He's my guest between periods 2 and 3, Marcel Dion of the Los Angeles Kings. Before we get to your contract, which goes into the next decade, which you've got to be happy about, is this a well-officiated hockey game? It's been chippy, chippy, chippy from the beginning.
That's right. I think right from the start, you know, you have to look on our side, right, where Pat Quinn's been here before, and we have a tremendous history against the Flyers where, if you do remember, Dave Schultz was traded to us, and then we had Randy Holt, and we got into a lot of brawls over the years, and there's still a lot of anger out there. And right from the start, as you know, the Flyers are very well known to go ahead and get a quick start, and they want sure to bury any teams that comes in. So you could see that he didn't get right into it. The incident with Janecyk, it happened to us last night in Hartford, and he got hurt with 5 minutes to go. And you have to eliminate that because goaltenders are in a situation where they can't really defend themselves, and I guess he did retaliate. And you could see from that point on, it was going to be out of hand. And now it's calmed down, but it's still there's been a lot of penalties and a lot of situations where guys haven't played.
Do you think it's been a well-officiated game?
It's been tough. You know, sometimes in those type of situations, you know, I feel that over the years that the referees are taking too much time deciding what's happening. I think we spent about a half an hour discussing. I think they should make the call and drop the puck and let's go. And it makes the game long, and I think it doesn't make it very interesting. And everybody's hanging on and grabbing, and the last 5 or 6 minutes were a little bit better.
Is there too much fighting in hockey, Marcel?
Well, when the big guys want to go, like you saw Brown and Wells, they want to go, they'll let them go. I think I'm not one of the guys that can speak as far as fighting is concerned because I don't fight too much, but when guys drop their sticks, that's the best way. Other sports, you see where baseball, I've seen guys throwing baseball and right at the guy's head, and in hockey it's different. You drop the gloves and you get caught, you know, but very seldom guys get hurt bad and get it over with. It's a game that guys get up for it, and it's very tough to explain if you never played the game, but we were born with it, and it's in our blood, you know.
All right, listen, go towel down. I know you've got to... what do you think Pat will say to you between the second and third periods, to the team, real quick?
Well, we've been struggling, and I think we're going to come back strong, and this is our 6th game on the road trip, and we want to go home with something that we've done, and we're going to be back here. That we win or lose, we're going to be back against the Flyers, and believe me, there's no way they're going to intimidate us again because that's pass. All
right, stay healthy, okay?
Thank you very much.
Marcel Dion of the Los Angeles Kings, and for joining us here, he gets the stylish Loris Sports Watch. Loris, the official timepiece of ESPN. We'll be going back to SportsCenter and check all the scores after these messages. 5-3, Kings on the short end against Philadelphia.
Won 6 in a row, lead the Los Angeles Kings 5-3 as we get set to start the third period. Each team has lost a couple of players tonight. Dean Kennedy got a game misconduct in the first period. You look at the faceoffs, the Flyers have done very well controlling those faceoffs.
Such a key part of any hockey game because, number one, you say the other team can't score if you've got control of the puck. And where does it start? It starts at the draw. So you win the draw, you've got control of the puck. It means you're on the attack.
The other man lost to LA was Jay Wells, who wound up in 3 fights with Dave Brown. Dave Brown was ejected from the game, got a game misconduct. Eddie Hospodar got a game misconduct in the first period. They've had lots of fights, lots of penalties, and when they played some hockey, there's been some exciting play as well. 5-3, Flyers lead it. Tim Kerr has 2 goals for the Philadelphia Flyers. Peter Zezel, Ilkka Sinisalo, and Rich Sutter for LA. Phil Sykes, Tiger Williams, and Jay Wells, the goal scorers. Altour sending it ahead. Brian Wilkes tries to find the puck, and Howe just breaks it up. Flyers on top of the Patrick division, coming in with a record of 8-2, having won 6 in a row. Offside is called on the play. They've won 7 of their last 8. And there is Rich Sutter, a first-round draft pick of the Pittsburgh Penguins in 1982, and on traded by the Penguins to Philadelphia and joined up with his brother Ron. The twins, Rich and Ron Sutter.
The Coyotes, they call them. One time Dan Kelly loves to call them, they call them Slash and Spear. But they are really making a name for themselves this year. I think they're really going to be, a lot of people are going to have to pay a little bit more attention to them.
Well, I thought Ron was playing very well last year, and especially in the playoffs. He was doing very well on face-offs, checking hard. Rich Sutter is starting to play that way this year. Sutter takes the puck away from Altour, then gets bumped by Tiger Williams. And the puck worked free by the LA Kings. Gary Galley carries it. Penalty is upcoming on the Philadelphia Flyers behind the play. Delayed penalty. The Kings get an extra man on. Williams has it knocked away. Puck touched by the Flyers. 19:09 to go, third period. We're at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Flyers for the Kings 3.
What Barron? Sutter up against the board, put a little glove under the chin. Now as he starts to go up ice, Rich Sutter gives him a little bit of hook, and down Tiger Williams goes. And we have a 2-minute hooking penalty for Rich Sutter. A good opportunity for the Kings. This can get them within 1 if they use the power play to their advantage.
Kings 1 for 3 on the power play in the game tonight. 1 for 4. Now it's Marcel Dion working it up with McClellan. They cross. Dion shoots wide. McClellan plays the rebound. Checked by McCrimmon. Gets it to Dion. Taylor cruising in front. Now waiting in front. Dion in control. Gives it to McClellan. Deflected it right through the crease. Easy move by McClellan. Redmond goes cross ice for Nichols. It's past him. McCrimmon will get there to drive it around the glass. Taylor blocks it. Taylor in the corner with McClellan. Poulin trying to work it free. McClellan back pass to Redmond. Pass McClellan to Taylor. Nobody in front for the Kings. Now McClellan goes in front. Redmond has the puck. Redmond winds and drives, deflected wide. Poulin gets to the puck on the far side. Picked up by McCrimmon. 55 seconds to go in the LA Kings power play. 2 minutes gone by, third period. Flyers leading 5-3. And the puck shot all the way down.
LA Kings doing a good job of moving the puck around. They're not getting anybody in front of the net in order to use that screen. We've got Tiger Williams out there right now, so we're going to keep an eye on that.
Williams to Brian Wilkes. Back pass to Bernie Nichols. Dropped it off for Redmond, but Redmond was skating back out of the zone. Williams plays it. Blocked by Marsh. Over comes Brian Wilkes. Knocked away from him by Craven. Redmond picks up the puck. Ron Sutter on him. Redmond to Williams, looking in front. Goes to Brian Wilkes. Centering pass off the stick of Marsh. And a loose puck is played on the near side. And intercepted by Craven from the rookie Brian Wilkes. That does it. Rich Sutter is back. And the Flyers have killed off another one. Good penalty killing by the Flyers. Brian Wilkes comes across the line against Crossman. Centers for Galley, fanned on the shot. And Derrick Smith picks up the puck. Avoids the check of Tiger Williams. Smith across the line. Zezel heads for the net. Pass for Zezel. Just missed it. Wilkes up the boards. And it poked the center. Sinisalo looking for it. But Williams fires it into the Flyers zone where Pelle Lindbergh stops it for Doug Crossman. 16:35 to go, third period. Flyers 5, Kings 3. Janecyk stops that long shot. The rebound just missed. Backhander Sinisalo goes wide. Zezel feet across, and Smith scores. What a play. Again, Zezel with a beautiful setup, and Smith cashes in.
All started on a long shot going in on Janecyk. The rebound comes off of Janecyk's pad out past the hash marks. Here's Derrick Smith going through. Watch Sinisalo come in. The backhand gets blocked over to Zezel. He's got no angle to put in the net, so he makes the pass to Derrick Smith, and he has the whole wide open side of the net. one of those plays that the bounces went their way, but they finished it off very, very well.
I tell you, I think Peter Zezel has just played an outstanding game. A couple of beautiful setups tonight. Sinisalo will also get an assist on the goal. 6-3 Flyers with 16:15 to go in the third period. Puck deflects up into the crowd, stopping play with 16:13 to go. Smith, his first of the year, from Sinisalo and Zezel at 3:32.
Now, one of the things that the Flyers do probably better than any other team in the National Hockey League on shoot-ins or the puck at their goaltenders, people attacking. Watch, Zezel can't shoot it at the net, so he throws it through the crease. What we didn't see was it go through Janecyk's leg. Janecyk was playing the shot by Sinisalo, was in the process of recovering when the pass, he was going back to the post to shut down any chance that Zezel had, and the pass went through his legs.
Doug Smith comes across the line, centers for Paul Guay. He's ridden down. Prop pokes the puck ahead of Crossman. Crossman tries the other side. Paul Guay gets over there. Guay, the rookie, rather the first year with the LA Kings. Back pass, shot by McClellan, is blocked in front. Prop leads for Kerr. Getting back is McClellan. Kerr is dumped. No call made. That shot from the point saved Janecyk, and he finds the rebound. 15:40 to go, third period. Flyers 6, LA Kings 3. Called by referee Kerry Fraser when he was pulled down coming across the line.
He had a kind of a legitimate complaint because Tour put the stick on him. Here's Kerr taking off. Now there's a hook on his gloves, his stick hand. Tour comes in front and takes him out. I would say that was not a penalty because Tour eventually got to the front of him. He didn't pull him back as much as he went to the front of him. I think it was a good call by Kerry Fraser.
Zezel worked the puck out to center, throws it ahead. Sneaking in from the right side is Sinisalo for the shot, but he was offside. Offside, 15:18 to go, and here we go one more time. Zezel getting involved. Brian McClellan, Bernie Nichols there. Zezel wants to go at McClellan. Zezel is 5'9", McClellan is 6'3".
I don't think it's McClellan as much as he wants. McClellan stepped in because Zezel wanted a piece of Bernie Nichols. They got McCrimmon talking to Nichols now. And McClellan jumped in, and McClellan's going to the box.
And the Flyers are going to get a power play chance. No, Zezel's going off also. So they'll stay 5 aside. McClellan and Zezel will sit down with 15:18 to go in this third period. Let's see what started it all.
Okay, over here on the right-hand side, there's Zezel coming in and knocked Nichols. Nichols was going over and talking to Sinisalo. Sinisalo wasn't going to do anything about it. He's not that type of player. And Peter Zezel sticking up for him, knocked Nichols down. McClellan come in order to help Nichols. And we got Zezel and McClellan in the penalty box. Interesting things. I've seen a lot of tonight. The LA Kings have not been blessed with a lot of good bounces. You know, you look at the puck coming off the boards on Janecyk and Kerr getting the goal. I'm seeing a lot of funny bounces that are leading to good opportunities for Philadelphia. And, you know, Philadelphia's creating a lot of situations. They're getting a lot of good bounces also.
Kings keep the puck in. Good hit by Poulin on Phil Sykes. Kept in by the LA Kings. 6-3 Flyers lead it. 5 minutes gone by in the third period. Zezel and McClellan getting 2 minutes each for high sticking at 4:42. No loss of manpower on the coincidental minors. Here comes Kerr trying to beat Engblom. Kerr trying to work his stick free. Engblom ties him up. And Engblom pulls him down, and now a penalty coming up on the LA Kings. 14:37 to go. Third period power play coming up for the Flyers, who lead Los Angeles 6-2.
Call this toll-free number to get in on a special half-price offer. The sporting news delivered straight to your mailbox every week at a hefty saving.
You'll get the latest lowdown and the hottest showdown. The facts, the quotes, the trends, the drafts, all through the NFL season on to the playoffs and the Super Bowl.
Call toll-free 1-800-592-6000. You pay in 3 easy installments of only $4.96 each. Call now 1-800-592-6000. That's 1-800-592-6000.
We're keeping the Total Sports Promise Wednesday. The NBA today leads off with television's best pro basketball report. Nobody covers the league better than we do. Then PKA Karate makes full contact with a blistering night at the fight. Kicks and punches fly in an all-out ring war that will have you cheering for more. Live top-ranked boxing is next. Lightweight headliners Chris Calvin and Greg Hagen tangle in a bout that says knockout all the way. Plus the Western Division Tournament light heavyweight finals, all Wednesday.
A look at Tim Kerr. Did not draw a penalty earlier in a rush, but this time Engblom gets his stick between his legs, takes him into the boards. Now, as they come off the boards, watch Engblom spin the stick and flip Kerr down and draws a penalty. And Kerr got a little bit upset at that, but he got the call this time that he didn't get the last time.
Flyers' 6th power play of the game. They're 3 for 5. They scored 2 in the second period by Kerr and Zezel. Kerr scored 1 in the first period. McCrimmon at the point, Sinisalo along the boards. Eklund is behind the net. McCrimmon to Sinisalo with room. He shoots it cross ice to Kerr, backhanded through the crease. Sinisalo with the puck. McCrimmon. Sinisalo is open along the boards. Plenty of room to shoot. Save is made. Might have deflected off the defenseman Altour. Nichols clears the zone. There's 30 to go on the penalty to Brian Engblom. 14:05 to go, third period. Flyers lead 6-3.
Philadelphia is starting to smell a rout here. They want to capitalize on this. They want to turn in and start getting up towards double figures. You can tell it. They smell it. They're going after it. They're not sitting back and protecting a 6-3 lead. They want to add to it.
Mark Howe carries the puck. A minute 10 to go. The man advantage. Nice move around Smith. Howe against Tour. Beats him too. Tries to come in front. Knocked away. Penalty called. It'll be a two-man Flyers advantage, but they're holding on to the puck. McCrimmon shoots, save, Janecyk. Another save by Janecyk on Kerr, and finally the whistle blows, and it'll be a two-man advantage for the Philadelphia Flyers. Al Tour will go for hooking, and it's one thing that the Kings don't need right now. Jim Kelly, what's going on around the NHL tonight?
Well, Sam, it was Edmonton jumping off to a quick lead. Gretzky has 3 of those 4 goals now at the end of 2 periods. Edmonton on top over Toronto 4-1. Meanwhile, St. Louis led the Jets 1-0 and 2-0. But hey, Winnipeg's come back and they're knotted up 3-3, and they're in the second period there. Don't forget, following the hockey game, America's Cup 87, Bring Back the Cup. It's right here on ESPN, which will have exclusive coverage of the America's Cup in 1987. And a good preview coming up after the hockey game. Sam, how long would it take to recap all the penalties?
Might take another game.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask one of Brad Park. Brad, how many times, because the score now is getting kind of out of hand and it's one-sided in Philadelphia's favor, how many times have you seen a hockey game get out of control because now the players can take out their frustrations even more? They just get chippy. The Kings say, we're not going to win, but we're going to get some high sticks up.
It can happen, but the big heavyweights are not in the game.
Except for Tiger Williams.
Well, Tiger's... It depends on how much of a point they want to establish.
Crossman just shot wide. 5-on-3 skating advantage for another 40 seconds. Sinisalo in the corner. Prop at the point. Prop high in the slot. Now to Sinisalo. Cross ice for Crossman. Crossman plays it back to Prop. Prop to Crossman. Crossman in deep to Kerr.
Interesting thing. We've got Dion and Sykes out there, both killing penalties. 2 forwards.
Penalty called. Sinisalo tripped up Sykes. That'll take 1-man advantage away from the Philadelphia Flyers.
Patty Quinn doing an unusual thing. Usually in a 3-man situation, you don't see 2 forwards out there killing the penalty. But they're a little short-handed on defense. They've got a couple of defensemen in the box. They're short-handed. He's going with 2 forwards. Also hoping, here's Sykes going down on the trip by Sinisalo. But hoping that Philly's going to get a little overconfident. They've got 2 guys out there that with speed and can handle the puck in Dion and Sykes, and that they may get a break and Pot one to get back, bring the score a little bit closer. And he's doing the same. He's leaving them out there along with a defenseman. It looks like Galley.
It's a 4-on-3 advantage for the Flyers. Engblom will be back in 20 seconds. McCrimmon. Galley gets over, up the boards, blocked by McCrimmon. Back pass to Mark Howe, over to McCrimmon. 10 seconds to go on the power play. McCrimmon looking, shooting, off a stick into the crowd with 2 seconds to go, and Engblom's penalty. Minute 5 to go on the penalty to Tour, and a minute 38 to go on the penalty to Sinisalo. With 12:39 to go in the third period, the Flyers leading 6-3.
Interesting things. You know, goal scorers are all like Brad McCrimmon was pulling the trigger from the point there, and he had Brian Propp to his right, probably about 25 feet away, and probably in a better position. And McCrimmon shot, and the puck got deflected out, and his buddy Brian from Brandon days and Junior looked at him and says, "Are you kidding? You don't want to use me now all of a sudden after what we've been through?"
Puck trickled out to center. Englund is back. Teams are at equal strength. Skating 4 aside. Lindbergh knocked that aside. McCrimmon checked there in the corner by Doug Smith. Zezel has the puck. From Markow, it's past him, and the Kings play it in center. Right side, Doug Smith with room. Smith comes in and shoots way wide, off the glass and up into the crowd. 12:11 to go. In the third period, you look at Doug Smith. Just a youngster at 22 years old. He's been in the league for 5 years.
He wound up, had a good scoring opportunity, but Lindbergh was right out on him, knowing that Smith only had one opportunity to shoot because one of his defensemen was coming in a hurry. So Lindbergh, instead of staying back in the net and giving the advantage to the shooter, moved out, cut down the angle, and Smith, he says, "I'm going upstairs, and if I may take a shoulder off, but I'm going upstairs."
37 seconds to go in Tour's penalty. When he comes back, the Kings will have a man advantage. Briefly, Doug Crossman plays it. Next week, here on ESPN, Minnesota North Stars at Boston. Ron Sutter with a puck. Backhands it, side of the net. Janecyk hesitating, then finally finds Craig Redmond. Redmond picks up the puck. And now it's Englund. His pass blocked nicely by Ron Sutter. Lost it to Hawkinson. Tour will be back in 5 seconds, and the Kings will have a 33-second power play. Brad Marsh with a puck. Centers, and a shot by Smith just went wide. May have ticked the glove of Janecyk. Man advantage for the Kings. Tour on, sends it all the way down, and it'll be an icing. Bad play by Al Tour, icing the puck with a man advantage. 21 seconds to go on the penalty to Ilkka Sinisalo. Next week at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, 4 Pacific, live from the Boston Garden, the Minnesota North Stars and the Boston Bruins. Get a look at Charlie Simmer, Ray Bourque. Barry Peterson is back. The Bruins sitting on top of the Adams division, battling for first place with the Quebec Nordiques. Minnesota North Stars regrouping under new head coach Lauren Henning. A couple of former Islanders as head coaches, Butch Goring and Lauren Henning. Brad Park, who played many games at Boston Garden, had a good time up there.
I love those small rinks. Some fancy footwork on that last play by Brad Marsh. He went in there, he stopped, he had Craig Redmond turned around, dropped the puck. Sinisalo took the shot, grazed the outside of the post, and Tour iced it. He didn't know they had the man advantage.
Sykes centering across, just missed by Taylor. Puck is cleared, and Sinisalo is back. 11 minutes to go, third period. Teams are at full strength, and the Flyers have a 3-goal lead as they look for their 7th win in a row. Brad McCrimmon from Markow. This is Propp coming in, being tied up by McClellan. Propp still looking for the puck. A lot of holding of sticks going on. Gary Galley.
Big Brian McClellan has been moved back to defense. He's a left winger, and he's been moved back. Because they're short-handed, they need a little bit more offense.
Nichols took the puck away, feeds Phil Sykes in against Brad McCrimmon. Nice poke check by McCrimmon. Marsh will play it. It gets hit by Taylor. And Marsh dumped Nichols. Taylor has the puck. Taylor shoots it, blocked by McCrimmon. It's under McCrimmon. 10:17 to go, third period. Flyers 6, Kings 3.
He's not a national hero, but every year, thousands of people turn to him for protection. He's an independent insurance agent who rides with the Kemper Cavalry. He knows insurance. His job is to scout out the best values for your auto, home, life, health, or business. And when the chips are down, he's a good man to have on your side. Once you compare Kemper, you'll ride with us.
You begin with raw steel. Shape it with fire, muscle, and sweat. Polish it to razor-sharp perfection. We're looking for a few good men with a medal to be Marines.
Brad Marsh and the linesman Dan McCord talk things over. LA Kings wrapping up a 6-game road trip. Started off with losses at New York Rangers and New Jersey. They bounced back with a win over the Islanders, lost in Boston, then won last night in Hartford with 6 goals in the third period. 8-1. Marsh pops it up into the air. It's knocked down. Tiger Williams' shot is stopped by Lindbergh. Lindsey Carson has the puck. Comes all the way back. Al Tour after it. Rich Sutter after it. Tour is there first. Around to Engblom. 10 minutes to go in the third period. Flyers 6, LA Kings 3. Engblom. Hit by Ron Sutter on Brian Wilkes. And the puck sent up into the LA Kings bench. Isn't it a little late for Halloween?
Okay, we've got a cone head. All right. I don't think that's his natural scalp. Like the ears, though. Got the great ears. Okay, that's a dedicated hockey fan. I wonder who his favorite player is.
Who do you think?
I don't want to guess. I wouldn't want to give anybody a bad reputation.
19-year-old Brian Wilkes. Second-round draft pick last year for the Kings.
Philadelphia's got to be very careful here, Sam. You know, they've got a 6-3 hockey game going. They're in control of the game. They want to attack, but they don't want to make bad gambles.
Now throwing it up into the crowd, stopping play.
Los Angeles, I mean, they still got time. There's 9:28 left in the game. They can go. They've got to force the issue. They can't sit back. They're missing some people are out of the game. And there's a look at Tiger Williams. Watch in front of the goal. The puck ends up in the air. Marsh hooks him, and as he goes down, he sweeps it, and Lindbergh just stays right with the puck. You know, Tiger's one of those guys that just loves to be in front of the net. He likes the action. He knows he's good at it. He works at it. And every once in a while, I don't know how it happens, but he cuffs somebody with his glove.
You don't know how it happens. Just an accident, right? That's led to 3,200 penalty minutes. Kings come out, though Williams is playing very well this year, has 5 goals, including 1 tonight. Derrick Smith with a puck, Gary Galley on him. Now it's J.P. Kelly, 3-on-2 for the Flyers, but McCrimmon, Rather-Poulin gets back to make it 3-on-3. McClellan in front. J.P. Kelly shot it, hit the side of the net. Out in front, Derrick Smith picks it up. Taken back by Mark Howe. Now it's Thomas Eriksson, who drives one. Nice save by Janecyk. Good shot by the defenseman Eriksson. Here's Eklund in. He shoots, and it's blocked by Galley coming across. Eklund had a wide open net with Janecyk down. Galley came across to block the shot. Tim Kerr comes in. Kerr weaves his way through the defense, and then the puck knocked away by Janecyk. Galley. Broken stick on the ice. McClellan passing it ahead. It was blocked. 8:15 to go in the third period. Flyers 6 and the LA Kings 3. Whistle stops play with 8:11 to go. If you tuned in looking for our preview of the America's Cup, Bring Back the Cup, it will be coming up immediately following tonight's hockey game.
Sam, an interesting problem for both coaches. It's probably an easier decision for Mike Keenan in that. Okay, look at the linesman climbing up on the glass.
Nice move, Danny.
Some of those rinks have the high glass. They couldn't reach it if they wanted to. But Mike Keenan probably has a more interesting and easier decision because he's got a 3-goal lead. It's time that he can go to his bench strength. The guys who haven't played a lot, he can give them more ice time. He's got the cushion.
Eriksson is one of them. The defenseman.
Pat Quinn. On the other hand, he says, if I go to my bench strength, I've got to get back in this hockey game. I've got to go to my best players. Or do I go to my bench strength and basically concede that maybe I'm not going to win the hockey game?
Tour sending it out, picked up by Pelle Eklund. Rich Sutter sends it in. interesting combinations that Mike Keenan is using here. With Rich Sutter, Brian Propp, and Pelle Eklund. Propp in the corner. Centers, it hit a skate, but the Flyers come out. Paul Gay has the puck and over skates. Now it's Engblom.
A lot of times, Sam, you're in this situation, the game is kind of going to a pace. It's not attack, it's not counter, back and forth all the time. The coaches, you've got people who haven't played a lot that need that ice time at a higher level that you don't get in practice. So, you want to use them.
In front for Craven, and a save is made. A beauty by Janecyk. Again, a beautiful setup by Peter Zezel. 7:09 to go, third period at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Flyers 6, Kings 3.
Tuesday, ESPN Slams and Jams takes on the world. Our AWA friends are up to the challenge with a bag full of tricks carefully crafted to produce painful sensations. It's definitely hostile territory.
I don't have nothing against you, fat boy. I just don't like you. I don't like nobody.
Next, the T-Birds are planning a party roller derby style. That means the Devils might be the main course. Then a cheerleading special. Things are shaken at the National High School Championship all Tuesday.
Flyers almost got another one here.
Murray Craven deflecting the puck. Bob Janecyk coming across, getting his blocker on it and covering up. Janecyk has played very well tonight. He's been beaten on a couple of bad bounces, a couple of screenshots, but he has been there when the real good scoring opportunities have come across him.
It was Sinisalo with that beautiful pass to Craven. And Zezel heading for the net looking for a rebound. Sinisalo has the puck along the boards. Just under 7 minutes to go, third period. Flyers with a 6-3 lead. Howe shooting from the point, deflected by McClellan. Craven with the puck. Looking in front, McClellan chases him, centered back. Howe takes it off the boards. Zezel centers, and it's cleared aside. Kept in by Sinisalo. It's Zezel. Good pressure here by the Flyers. Centered across. Janecyk got the stick on it. McCrimmon pushes it over to Craven. Craven is hit by McClellan. Zezel centers. Howe comes over. Flyers will not let the puck out of the zone. Good work. Sinisalo fanned on the shot. Loose puck. Sinisalo, a save is made by Janecyk. And the puck was smothered by McClellan to get a stop of play, and a penalty has been called. Delay of the game on Brian McClellan. 6:16 to go, third period. Flyers have a power play coming up. Flyers 6 and the LA Kings 3.
Smile, boys.
Look at this dang picture. We got bad developing again, boys. My hat ain't even white.
Well, I always said you was yellow.
Well, that's funny coming from a greenhorn on a green horse.
The horse is green. Why, you are now, boys. Should have used that new Kodak color watch system. Could have had a great picture then. Try it again.
Look for the Color Watch seal where you get your film developed for bright, vivid color prints time after time. And if you don't see that sign, keep on riding.
A defenseman's nightmare in front of the net. Brian McClellan, do you reach for it or do you let it come to you? The puck ended up. He went for it, come back to him. He swept it under him and held it there. And Kerry Fraser called a 2-minute delay of game penalty on Brian McClellan.
So with 6:16 to go in the third period, another power play for the Flyers there. 8. Kerr just missed getting a shot off. Crossman couldn't keep the puck in. Flyers are 3 for 7 on the power play thus far. Thomas Eriksson with the puck. Brian Propp at the point, finds Crossman open. Kerr cruising in the left circle. Crossman takes it. Crossman looking. Lost control. Knocked away from him by Tour. Crossman still digging for it. Tour sends it up the board. Stopped by Eriksson. Eriksson to Propp. Dion trying to knock it out. Does. Kicks it out of the zone. Minute 20 to go on the power play for the Philadelphia Flyers. Crossman. Now Poulin coming in. Nice drop pass for Propp. Propp with a wrist shot. Saved by Janecyk. Rebound is loose in the slot. Shot by Poulin deflected off Gary Galley and up into the crowd. Shots on goal. Flyers 35 and the LA Kings 20 in the game. 5:24 to go. As you look at tired Gary Galley heading off.
You talk about one of the lovely female fans enjoying the game tonight. All you people out there, that was a wave for you. but the Flyers are really attacking now. You know, they want to get that 7th goal. The Kings, they lose their defenseman. Just called Tour up. He's been thrown into duty. They're shorthanded. They're using Brian McClellan back on defense. They are not playing as a unit because they're filling and patching with people.
The shot by Howe is blocked in front. Engblom able to clear all the way down. 55 seconds to go in the power play for the Flyers. 5:10 to go, third period. Flyers with a 6-3 lead. Pelle Eklund tries to beat Engblom. Eklund, back pass, wide open. McCrimmon for the shot, blocked. Good block by Doug Smith. Along the boards, Craven couldn't play it. Sykes clears it to center. Ilkka Sinisalo, who has a goal and 3 assists in this game, feeds Pelle Eklund. Eklund back to McCrimmon, wide open is Howe on the near side. He decides to go to Sinisalo, to Eklund for the shot, wide. Rebound is kept in by McCrimmon at the blue line. This is Eklund with a puck. Nice pass across to Howe. It's off his stick, and the Flyers regroup in center. 15 seconds to go in the Philadelphia power play. Here comes Eklund. Eklund sliding it across, blocked by Engblom. Engblom plays the puck to the near boards, and the Kings able to clear out. That does it. McClellan is back, team for full strength, but only 4:15 remains in the third period, and the Flyers have a 6-3 lead. And they're still forechecking. Rich Sutter takes the puck away, gets it to Brother Ron. Checked by Engblom. Centers in front, it's blocked, and Galley plays the puck. These Flyers are relentless and continue to forecheck hard with the 3-goal lead. Rich Sutter knocking down Bernie Nichols. Lindsey Carson clears the puck out. Ron Sutter chasing after it against Al Tour. Sutter slashing at Tour. Puck worked up to Bernie Nichols with 3:35 to go. Nichols shoots it. Good save. The rebound hit the post by J.P. Kelly. Marsh falls down. Tries to smother the puck. Lyle Fair trying to work it free and does. Kelly centers. Loose puck in the slot is cleared aside and out of the zone. J.P. Kelly hitting the post on the rebound of that shot by Nichols.
Rich Sutter going to the bench, holding his right arm, trying to take down J.P. Kelly, and ended up going into the post, and he's going, looks like the trainers are looking at him, and he's in a lot of pain right now.
3 minutes to go in the third period. Poulin plays it off the boards for Derrick Smith onside. Smith deeks in, shoots, saves Janecyk. And he holds on with 2:54 to go. Bob Janecyk coming up with his 30th save of the game.
Another big save. You know, like I said before, Janecyk has played very well tonight. You know, a lot of key scoring opportunities. Here he stays right with Derrick Smith all the way across, ends up with a puck between his legs, smothers it. But those one-on-one situations, the good scoring attempts, Janecyk has been there. He's been beaten by some bad bounces. He's been beaten by screenshots, things that maybe aren't his responsibility. And he hasn't been getting the kind of help that you want your goaltender to get. If he has to start worrying about passes, but other than shots, he's concentrating on 2 different things.
You see the Flyers controlling the face-offs tonight, and after the Kings had a brief lead early in the second, the Flyers have scored 4 unanswered goals to take a 6-3 lead. Derrick Smith and Zezel working the puck behind the net. Zezel has it. Double teamed by Williams and Redmond, and Williams went right after him. Williams figures the game is over. He's going right after Zezel.
That's what I was talking about, Sam. That type of thing does not belong in the game. The fight should be a flare-up. This is not a flare-up.
Deliberate. No
this was deliberate. This is something that the film should show. You go to the league, boom. You let them handle it. This is a disciplinary problem. All right, here's Zezel behind. Now here comes Tiger Williams in.
That's it. He just
There's no flare-up.
Started punching.
Yep. Peter Zezel had no chance. That's when somebody jumps in right away to give you, you don't want your teammate to be taken advantage of. Now, as much as I like Tiger and this and that, that is not necessarily called for. If you got a grudge against the guy, you do it the next game.
Well, they finally pried them loose. And Peter Zezel gets the jersey back on and heads off. He will head to the locker room with 2:41 to go in the third period. and presumably the game. Let's take another look.
Okay, here comes Tiger, puts him up. Here comes the left, first one.
Oh, man.
Now the problem with this is, number one, a guy is not ready for it. You can do a lot of damage to a guy. And, you know, that's one of the things that Tiger feels has kept him in the league, because that ability to mix it up and you know, really be an intimidating force. But that type of situation, I don't like to see it. If you want to settle a score with a guy, give him a chance, and hey, let's go out to center ice, and you know, we'll start it fresh.
2:41 to go in the third period. Flyers captain Dave Poulin talking with Kerry Fraser.
2 minutes for roughing plus 5 minutes for fighting.
Williams 2 for roughing, 5 for fighting. And Zezel gets 5 for fighting. And both players are gone for the night. 17-19 the time of the penalties. So remember, please remember, don't forget, America's Cup 87 is coming up immediately following tonight's game. Our exclusive coverage of America's Cup 87. Mike Keenan checking things out, the coach of the year in the National Hockey League last year, taking the Flyers to the Stanley Cup Finals, where they lost in 5 games to the Edmonton Oilers.
It should be quite a rematch the next time that these two hockey clubs meet, because, you know, this type of hockey game, both teams remember, and they get ready for the next time. They may not meet for a month. They may not meet for 2 months. One of the, here's a look at the total penalty minutes tonight, 179, 79 for the Kings, 100 for Philadelphia. A great quote of one time when asked, Rod Gilbert was asked one time if fights were real or were they fake, and he says, if they were fake, I would have been in a lot more.
Zor sending it ahead. It's a Flyers power play. They're 9th of the game. They are 3 for 8. With 2:20 to go in the game, Flyers leading 6-3. Brad McCrimmon carries. Gary Galley is back there. Zezel has had a goal and 2 assists. Kerr has had 2 goals in the game. Rich Sutter has had a goal. Sinisalo a goal and 3 assists. That shot blocked in front by Tour. Howe throws it in front. Poulin through his legs. Kerr scores! It's a hat trick for Tim Kerr. His 3rd power play goal, and what a setup by Dave Poulin to the big guy, all alone in front.
A nice play by Dave Poulin, just sliding it across. Gary Galley in front of the net. Here's the shot by Howe, goes into Poulin. He just turns around. Galley comes across. Kerr has the open net and stuffs it home for his third. Gives it a little flick for added effect. But watch Poulin here just spin. Galley slides across, hits his glove on his stick side, and Kerr's right there with a whole empty net. Nice touch for a big man, hit the whole empty net.
Boy, that's his hangout. He's had 3 power play goals tonight. That gives him 7 power play goals this season. He had 21 last year. And the 3 goals tonight give him 11 on the season. Tim Kerr, after back-to-back 54-goal seasons, he's on a good pace again. There's a shot and they score. Paul Guay picking up his 2nd goal of the season in front, getting the loose puck. And with the Flyers kind of laying back and getting a little careless on that play, Guay able to score, and it's 7-4.
Paul Guay knocking down a pass that's going in front of the net. Definitely that pass will be on the screen tomorrow. And just driving it home, Lindbergh figures everything's under control, and the pass goes across. Guay knocks it down and stuffs it in the net. Sam, if I think one thing has a big bearing on the game tonight was that with all the fighting and people leaving the game, the Flyers kept their defense intact, and they have the experience. LA right now are using a couple of young guys in Redmond and Galley, and what's happening is they're shorthanded.
Marsh plays the puck off the board, but for the most part, he really used 4 defensemen. Erickson didn't see all that much time. Hospodar got the game misconduct. Galley comes in, they're offside on the play with 1:22 to go. And really, it was 4 defensemen being used. Marsh, McCrimmon, Crossman, and Howe were seeing most of the work on defense for the Flyers.
I think if I was starting a hockey team where I wanted to be a contender, your biggest problem, the biggest shortage is real good quality, experienced defense. And when you're going to be using young guys, it takes them a couple of years to learn. If you look at the Edmontons, the Philadelphias, these type of teams, the Islanders over the years, the Montreal Canadiens, they've always had great, good defensemen who can go offensive and defensive.
Minute 10 to go as Lindsey Carson is pulled down. Howe with a shot deflects wide of the net. McClellan plays it. Well, the Flyers will win their 7th in a row. The LA Kings will wind up 2-4 on the long road trip. We're under a minute to go in the game. Whistle stops play, and an interference penalty is being called. Looks like Ron Sutter is going to go. And why not put the finishing touches on a game that's been filled with penalties, with one more with less than a minute to go in the game. The goal scoring in this third period, Smith from Zezel and Sinisalo at 3:32. Kerr his 11th from Poulin and Howe. A power play goal. Flyers 4 for 9 on the power play in the game tonight. The goal by Kerr is 3rd of the game, all on the power play in 18 minutes. And then Guay his 2nd of the season, unassisted at 18-12. Sutter for interference, 55 seconds to go. 19:05 the time of the penalty. So the LA Kings will go on with a man advantage. 50 seconds to go. The score was tied 2-2 end of the first. Flyers got 2 goals to take a 2-0 lead. Kings came back to tie it. Went ahead briefly early in the second period, 3-2. And then the Flyers got 3 goals, 2 on the power play to take a 5-3 lead. End of the second. Opened it up to 7-3 before the Kings got the last goal. So a good win for the Philadelphia Flyers as they really outplayed and outmuscled the LA Kings.
I don't know if they outmuscled them. They just outworked them. The situation as they got into the second period, they picked up the tempo of the game the way that they wanted to go and the way that they wanted to play, and they did what works best for them.
Here comes McCrimmon. Back pass for Howe. It just went wide, and the Flyers continue to put the pressure on. That's the one thing they never let up. Even when they got the lead, and a good-sized lead at 6-3 early in the third, they didn't let up at all. So it's all over. The Philadelphia Flyers have defeated the LA Kings by the score at 7-4. We'll be right back to Philadelphia after this message.
If you just ask for a light beer,
I'll have a light.
You never know what you'll get.
That's me packing the car. Best vacation ever. Here's Rock City, Texas, L.A., all in 3 days.
A Bud Light.
Here I am in Death Valley. That's me looking for water.
So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste...
Wait, there's more.
Ask for Bud Light, because everything else...
Give me a light.
...is just a light.
That's me packing the car. Best vacation.
Back at the Spectrum in Philadelphia, the Flyers skate away with that 7-4 victory against the Los Angeles Kings. Sam alluded to the rematch, and a rematch, I guess, is the right word after all the fighting. We'll mark down the date. It's January the 2nd in Los Angeles, the Flyers and the Kings, round 2. Brad and Sam, I think it's safe to say that Mr. Frazier will not be on the Kings or the Flyers Christmas card list.
No, it wasn't a game that they enjoyed the officiating, but nevertheless, a tough game to officiate for the referee, Kerry Fraser.
Oh, definitely. You know, you've got 2 teams trying to establish territory out there in this body contact sport.
Big win for the Philadelphia Flyers. They're 7th in a row. They continue to play well. They're on top of the Patrick division. The LA Kings wind up the road trip 2-4. We'll be right back with Jim Kelly in the Spectrum right after this message.